Yeah, this game has a really high skill ceiling, and mistakes are punished very harshly, and we are underway. Going into Impact first, so we're going to see them. You want to go to Impact first, just as weapon is so good at going fast that you don't want to do a single stage without having the Impact weapon.
One thing to note, it's kind of funny, is that it may look slightly uneven, but that's because Carter's actually playing on PC, Reabs is playing on the PlayStation, so there's slightly faster load speeds on PC. However, PC, from personal experience I can vouch, has slightly jankier, sometimes stuttering. Carter confirms that there are some things that are not as reliable on PC, so that may end up getting him at parts of the run.
So you're going to see them on the net screen. They're going to be showing off, sorry, a couple screens. They're going to be showing off the speed gear, and that is going to basically be like a bullet time button. They can only use it for so long. If the meter fills up, they can't use it again until it cools down entirely, which just takes time. Carter with the drop there, by the way.
Yeah, ammo is particularly useful, by the way. This is that use of of speed gear, just brief little taps there. But yeah, ammo is super important throughout the run. Even in this first stage, that one big drop is going to save him a little bit of time later on. And he's actually coming up on the mini-boss. Nice, he is going for this. So by charging with power gear enabled, you would normally get a double buster shot. But by charging it all the way to the very end, causing you to burn out no matter what, you get that final shot that does so much damage, just immediately takes out more than half of the mini-boss's health there.
To put it in thinking terms, it does more damage than 5 Mega Busters. It's a lot.
Carter excellently moving through the conveyor belt room. This room is absolutely terrifying. An easy point for anyone to reset. Reabs as well, getting the damage boost. You only have like a handful of frames to make it through those spikes before you would instantly die.
Yeah, that's a really scary room. Both runners are probably really happy that that room is behind.
Honestly, the first two stages are just like, if you can make it past Carter, oh good god, that was a smart call, and he actually is now caught up with, or he's back to Reabs. Ammo is super short. I'm not sure, you better not be going for spike.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's gone for spike jump this entire tournament, but Carter went for it. That does save a few seconds, but if you have about 2 pixels to land there without touching the spikes. If you mess it up, you die, and you go back to before the big room.
Now, those gears that that Sage mentioned before, bosses also come equipped with one of those gears. Specifically, Impact Man has a power gear, and you never want to see it because it's a 20-second phase of the fight where he's completely invulnerable. By doing your damage in specific ways, you can bring him down to a very close to almost dead, and then you can stack on the last 2 double buster shots just like Reabs did. Nice, and Carter as well.
I think Carter got a cleaner fight.
Yeah, he did.
Yep, he got the better fight, so he made up a couple seconds there.
So the way the fight normally works is that you wait until after 4 moves from Impact Man, he does this move where he starts spiking around the screen. It's very easy to kill him at that point because he has to finish it before he can go into his power gear. Carter actually managed to kill him during one of the impact attacks, which very, very small frame, small window of opportunity to be able to do that.
Yeah, very, very small frame, and it's a very, very big time loss if you miss it. A very big meaning like 15, 16 seconds.
So now Reabs and Carter in Tundra Man stage. They're still going to be in the same stages as each other. Nice, Carter going for the kill. Reabs managing to slide underneath the Crunch Don. You can see they have the impact weapon. They're using it to... basically, it's a little bit faster than sliding, but what you want to do with your impact is use it where you can't slide at all in most cases. That way you're always moving as fast as possible.
You saw Carter get a drop there, and drops actually get really big here because you basically want to pick up every single weapon energy drop with impact. So you will see the runners switching to impact after they kill an enemy real quick. Even if they don't use impact, they're just looking to see if they can get a drop.
Yeah, Carter, because he had that drop, is using power gear impact right there. And speaking of... Yeah, he's super fortunate right now. Even if he didn't get one from the Robert, he has almost full ammo, which means he can go for the majority of strats in the second half of the stage. Ooh, Reabs going for this strat, this spicy new stuff right here. This is a mini-boss kill. Normally, you would not be using the final shot here, but he actually has it timed out to know when he should be doing rapid shots into power impact. Nice! Beautiful.
Carter actually went for that in one of his matches, his first match yesterday, and didn't get it and wasted a lot of time. And I don't think he's gone for it since. Which is smart. Yeah.
Reabs picking up the weapon tank. Weapon tanks will be used throughout the later stages. As you can see, impact is just that important to us that not only are we fishing for drops, but we're also going to be using all of it basically halfway through the stage and then using that tank to give us just more impact. That's literally why it's so valuable.
Carter with a little extra impact. They're coming up on a really scary room, by the way. You're supposed to wait for the wind to pick up, but we don't want to wait. So we're going to try and use impact to get across these blocks without... They both fell down, but they both recovered.
And then because they have just a little bit of energy left, they're just going to burn it with one more power in. And then we are at Tundra, and Tundra is not killed with his weakness, but once we kill him, we do have the ability to start weakness order. So double buster at the stop. This double buster on the left, only the red shot hits. Red shots actually ignore iframes, so it tacks on just enough damage to kill Tundra Man on the right side of the screen before he activates his speed gear.
Really good fights by both players, by the way.
Man, it's super close. I'm loving this.
Yeah. I believe all 3 matches like this were like this yesterday. We're all nail biters up until the end.
So now we're at the point where basically the run feels a little better. Like there's still plenty of places to instantly die, you know, because we wouldn't want the run to be entirely not scary. Speaking of, this stage has plenty of those, but it does feel a little bit safer. Just the tricks that you have to go for in Tundra and Impact feel a lot risky. Hoping for drops. Ooh, Carter got one. Nice. He got a large drop off of at least something there.
Yeah, the stage is very horizontal, so you want to impact as much as possible. Ooh, Carter. That fire, by the way, is instant KO, even if you have iframes, so don't touch it.
So now Carter should be killing this owl up in the air, hoping for another drop, more power impacts, which are also nice. He got one off the Robin. Man, double drops. I want to see what he goes for now. Speaking of this fight, you normally can't fire Tundra that quickly, but if you slide jump afterwards, you remove all the recovery animation out of the way. Nice using power.
It's really neat to see just the divergence in the strats. There's so many optional strats that both players will go for that the other doesn't, and they each have different strats they're going to go for depending on the number of drops they get. You almost have to learn like 2 or 3 different routes through the stage, depending on how many drops you get, just so you can be prepared for any situation.
I don't think Carter meant to impact there. I've never seen anyone do that before.
Yeah, that might have been a mistake. I think he might have been trying to shoot a lemon.
And he didn't equip, yeah.
A little shy there, too. Carter has taken a slight lead, though, mostly off the back of these drops.
And it's never just a matter of like, oh, you got the drops, you're guaranteed to go fast. Making mistakes means that those drops mean nothing, especially with how long it takes to recover from impacting a wall and you fall.
Especially, like, I think every runner has some point had a situation where they don't know what to do with their drops, and they try to improvise, and instead they die. They fall in a pit or something.
So they're at Torchman now. Torchman had a pretty simple fight. It just takes 4 Tundra Blasts. Thing to note, really, though, is that look at the ammo. Every time you use a powered version of the Tundra, it costs about double the amount of ammo, so you only have 4 shots.
Man, this is so close. 905 for Carter, 906 for Reabs. Just timing off when they jumped up, but there's only about a second or 2 difference here.
So now that they have, they've beaten Torchman. Specifically, this kind of leads back to what I was saying about the weapon wheel earlier. They'll constantly be switching now between Impact and Torch for a lot of the strats in this stage. And even with only those 2 weapons being primarily used, you're going to see it really... it's a lot of like Mega Man... You feel more Mega Man, in my opinion, by doing this. Like, you feel like you have total mastery of all the boss's weapons. Yeah,
this is definitely where the game really starts to take off, and you really start to get kind of, you know, constantly moving your thumb between the buttons and the joystick. You are using all the buttons on the controller for this.
Yeah, like the room that they're in right now, that's a buster shot into powered impact, switch to torch, jump, fire that, fall off the ledge, powered impact. Like, it's a mouthful just saying everything that they're doing. It's done before I even finish the first couple.
Picking up some extra impact ammo there. You will probably see different routes. I expect Reabs to use a W tank at some point. Actually, I think he already had. He used it early. I know Reabs goes for very aggressive strats, hoping to get drops to help him out later in the stage. Going for a dangerous rush coil here.
Okay, so Reabs has more ammo. Carter not getting as lucky. He does have to stop partway through that. I do love this vertical segment.
So Reabs caught up back up a little bit, but he did burn one of his E tanks, or W tanks, I'm sorry, in the process. So that is going to mean he's one behind. I expect to see Reabs go to a shop and buy as many W tanks as he can afford, whereas Carter is probably going to skip the shop entirely.
This kill is absolutely amazing. Power Tundra is not Blastman's weakness, but because it hits him immediately from the left side of the screen, it does save like about half a second. They both got it.
The sync, by the way, I see chat asking, the shop is allowed in the rule. The only thing we're going to go to the shop and buy is W tanks, unless you're some sort of crazy guy who buys a beat.
Yeah, shop isn't explicitly faster or banned for any reason. In fact, unless if you really know what you're doing, it's not going to save you. So now that they've beaten 4 stages, they actually have access to Rush Jet, which makes the movement a lot more technical, because instead of using Rush Coil to get all of their altitude, they're going to be jumping, and at the top of that jump, they're going to call Rush and then jump off of him, but they also have to dismiss Rush immediately. You're going to see Reabs do a lot of that at the beginning of Bounce Man. By the way, they switch stages in terms of like what they're going to do. Reabs is going to bounce. Carter's doing the route that a lot more runners do, but they go to block afterwards. So you're going to see Reabs without the same weapon that Carter's going to have for the stage later on, and vice versa.
Yeah, it's actually really interesting the route divergence here. They are going to meet up in the very last level, which is going to be, I believe, acid for both of them. But I did see someone in chat asking, shopping is... I'm sorry, I already answered the question.
Nice mini boss kill from Carter on Totemer. And get your Chelney Frogs ready. Reabs is coming up on the first. Carter, by the way, using the weapon as the weakness for Blockman to just take out that maze there. Reabs using a final shot on Chelney Frog. A couple rapid busters and power torch. Good stuff. Carter making this beautiful climb here.
Yeah, it was a really good climb. You really had to be quick about dismissing the Rush Jet, because when Rush is... Oh no, Carter, hold down on the stick. Okay, he got it. You can buffer inputs, so if you're just holding down the stick as you come on a pause, you will immediately switch to impact, but you have to remember to do it.
Okay, so Carter coming up on the second chase. That is a very difficult jump there from Reabs.
Yeah, that is a really painful room there. Second Chelney Frog, by the way. Yeah, it's really important to dismiss Rush.
Ooh, Carter, nice job!
Those blocks. It is
just
such
to
a
go
nice strat.
so clean through that room just to be able to do that, and then it's not even an easy trick.
Yeah, like the blots are on a room timer, so they start going. If you lose any time throughout that room, you don't know where that blot's going to be when you get to the end.
Not to mention, Reabs just coil jet to grab that W tank. That is also not easy. Ooh, was that too short?
Oh,
he made it.
He got it.
Okay, so Carter coming up on Blockman. Reabs has a little bit of way to go. For the Blockman fight, you're going to be trying to skip the Golem phase. And in order to do that, he has to actually get a final shot off. So he's going to start with a Power Tundra into 2 Chain Blasts, get 4 more going. They'll actually take a while. They won't start detonating until they reach the wall. This will give him enough time to charge up the final shot. Beautiful.
Yeah, you really do not want to mess up that fight. That's probably another 15-second time loss. If you remember the demo, that guy turns into a giant golem with a brand new health bar that you have to fight. And then you have to do a third phase of block afterwards.
Bounce Man, not a particularly difficult fight. It's a power impact, double buster power impact. But it is good that he got it. It's one of those fights. It's like, okay, thank God we have like a pretty easy fight, so gives us a slight break.
The boss is the stage, man. Bounce is impossible.
So now Carter having to overbounce. Reabs doing shopping, and the weekend bonus. Oh man, 20% off. He's getting as many E tanks as he can. Or
I can't believe Carter scheduled the race for the weekend. What an oversight. Oh, Reabs? Yeah, no, Reabs does do fuse. Okay, they both do acid last. That's right. I'm the only madman who does fuse last. So Carter moving through mounts here, and you can kind of see how important the impact is in this stage, because you cannot slide over any of those bouncy balls. So you want to impact over them, because otherwise you basically just have to walk. Reabs, on the other hand, going through fuse, and this is a really cycle-based room, or entire stage really, with the lasers. You're going to see him impacting through them. He's coming up to a very tricky room right now.
Yeah, from the moment he enters this room, he needs to keep going. Nice, gets into the laser.
He's not getting hit. That's so impressive every time. I always get hit there.
Yeah, that is not an easy strat either. Using these 3-powered impacts, let's see if he can make it. Nice.
Yeah, it's up there.
That's also very difficult movement. You need to be very clean to be able to jump up, place rush, still land on him, and climb that that small. And that's a mini boss.
Ooh, he caught the ladder. He didn't. He kind of lost a little bit of time there. You're climbing ladders is really slow in this game, so you want to do rush jumps up the ladder, but you want to make sure you don't fall down.
Yo, nice. Reabs with the so when you W tank in Fused Man stage, you can actually take the top route in that small section, and then another nice power impact there. So he does have a little bit of ammo. He can use a power impact toward the end, just to burn off. You never want to finish the stage with any ammo. Nice job doing the Prizzy strat, getting the quick cycle, 4 seconds saved.
Very nice by Reabs. He's going into a very cool looking boss fight. I do want to mention Carter missed the W tank and bounce, so he's probably going to have to buy one.
Now for this fight, using power bounce will allow it to speed up to hit Fuse before shield goes up, do a double buster, use speed gear slowdown time so both shots hit, then 2 more double busters will finish the fight. And no.
He missed one shot. He missed a blue. He either shot it too early or just missed one entirely with the first. No, he must have shot it too early.
Yeah, you barely have any time whatsoever. Like, all shots need to hit when they're supposed to, otherwise you won't be able to get the quick kills in the majority of these games.
Man. So Reabs going into block and Carter's going into fuse, and then they're going to meet up in acid after this stage, and we'll see who. But it's looking pretty close.
Yeah, neither runner has had like expensive mistakes. No deaths that I've seen. Just a couple fumbles here and there. Carter doing a little bit of his shopping. I'm not sure if he's gonna. Yeah, he's not buying much, so he's not spending as much time in the shop. But that's still fine. The tank that he's going to use is still going to help him out.
Yeah, it's still worth it going to the shop. He did miss the bounce one, which is why he had to go to the shop in the first place.
The thing is that like refilling your ammo from nothing to full is like 3 seconds, I think. So you have to be able to go for at least that much time save and then some to make up for going to the Reabs, who's bought like 6 tanks, I think.
He buys as many as he can afford.
Yeah, he'll use one on every stage that he has the opportunity to. So he's saving that much more time on every stage. Ooh, nice! I love that. Reabs doing so many different little things. He actually did a double-powered impact there, whereas Carter just kind of blew it up and did a single one. There's so many little differences between every runner on like how they tackle each stage. But that doesn't mean that one runner is going to be saving that much more time over the other one. Specifically because any extra ammo that Reabs uses, Carter is probably going to use somewhere else. And Reabs doing the smart thing right now, taking his time, because if you get caught under one of those bricks, you will just be sent to your...
Yeah, you really cannot just push through some of those screens. You just, if you mess up, you have to accept that you're going to lose the time and move on. Don't take a death.
I appreciate that while these runners are doing like what they can and playing as aggressively as they can, they're taking those moments to be cool and collected and say, no, I will die if I go right now because I don't know what to do, or it's just a guarantee. Ooh, Reabs looked like he had plenty of time there. I think he kind of messed up at the beginning of the room, so it kind of was off cycle as well. I don't blame him for
having a little trouble here. Oh, he gets hit. Fortunately, doesn't fall down. Carter getting the Prissy strats. Shoutouts to Prissy.
Yo, shoutouts to Prissy. That strat's absolutely insane, by the way. I've yet to get it in a run.
And Reabs coming up on his Blockman, and Carter coming up on Fuse.
Let's see if Carter can nail Fuse. Good.
And he missed a blue. He shot it too early. Now, fortunately, as long as you get most of the hits, you don't lose that much time. He's supposed to die right in the center there, but he only lost a couple seconds.
By the way, you may have... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
You may have noticed that Reabs summoned Rush. You can actually jump over Blockman just fine. You don't need Rush to get over Blockman. But a small thing that a lot of runners do is that in order to use the regular Buster, you can't be colored. You can't have a boss weapon equipped. So you need to...
Assume, was that Calathon reacting to Reabs' Blockman kill?
Of course! Everyone's...
So Carter has a small lead here, but only a few seconds. He warps in at, what, 21:05. He's got control. So let's see what Reabs has. About 21:12. So about a 7-second lead. It's impressive to see with all the different strats these two runners do. They're still 7 seconds apart.
It's really just a matter of what you do and don't get in most cases.
By the way, Acid Man is mostly an underwater stage. You are going to see them doing some neat momentum things, using Blast to kind of hang underwater, pushes them upwards just a little bit.
I love this room. Ooh, he got a nice ammo refill off Drippy.
He looked a little confused. Oh, he got another one. He didn't even use anything.
Oh, the sadness. I don't think anyone has enough aggressive strats to use that much ammo in the beginning like that. Like, that's definitely a surprise you can't really account for.
Yeah.
Coming up on W Dropper, they're very close right now. So W Dropper, normally you can just kill him with 2 powered blocks. If you switch over to Bounce, you can actually... Oh!
He had some trouble with the weapon wheel.
That's actually an excellent point of what I was going to say, is that you need to be really specific because of how many weapons you have right now to be able to get that kill. Because you're going from top left to completely due east before you go back to top left. And if you flick even in remotely the wrong direction, you're not going to get the weapon.
Yeah, that's really rough.
Ooh, take that, Joe!
Oh, Reabs is trying to climb his way out with an impact climb. Does he have enough ammo? He can do it. He can do it. There we go.
Oh, he made it! Oh, good God.
So there is a glitch. This is usually the glitch you go out of bounds with, but it's not allowed in this category. But you can cancel your impact by pausing and switching to another weapon. And by doing that, you can gain a little bit of height every time you do it. So if you fall just a little bit down a pit, you can actually climb back out.
To clarify, the out of bounds is what's not allowed. Doing that is entirely fine.
Thank you. Yeah, going out of bounds with that is not allowed. Using the glitch is just fine.
Reabs also, by the way, the acid fight is pretty set and forget as well. But to note, Reabs did get a drop in one of the last acid tunnels. However, most runners who try and get that drop end up running into Spike. You kind of commit. So now Reabs doesn't have that tank. He still should know what to do for the majority of these screens. So long as he has a tank for Wily 1, he'll be fine. If not, then he's going to have to go dig deep. Remember what he used.
It's actually kind of interesting. I would probably save the tank for Wily 2 myself. But that's because I'm more comfortable with Wily 1 tankless strats.
By the way, they had excellent 8 robots, both under 24 minutes. Those had to be in like the sub 2330 range. I wasn't looking.
I wouldn't be shocked if they're close to PB pace, honestly.
By the way, Carter doing the not W tank version, the opening of this stage, it's a thing of beauty. I absolutely love it. You just go back and forth between so many different weapons. Reabs using the tank, I'm assuming, if he can get up those gears, he's just going to be flying over this whole thing.
Carter does not have a tank. I see chat asking that he does not have a tank. That's intentional. He does not use a tank in either of these last few stages.
Tank strats, again, are what you can get out of them. Like, it's not a guaranteed thing to be faster if you don't know the strats to go for. Ooh, nice clean swaps. I saw that from Carter. Very good. And dodging those air gears before the shots could hit.
Yeah, that room is so dangerous. It's probably my least favorite room of the game.
And you're going to see how well ammo is calculated and routed out for this last section. If you take a look at Carter's impact ammo with the 1 regular and then the 6 powered up, or the 5 powered up afterwards, look at that.
Beautiful. That feels so good when you do it right. You know you did the stage well.
Okay, Reabs making it up to the second last checkpoint. It's really the last checkpoint for the boss room. Now Carter entering Yellow Devil. This fight, thankfully, although it is exactly like the original Yellow Devil fight, we have Chain Blast, which does make the fight particularly faster, I would say, unless if you were going for some glitch strats in the first game. But to note, the Yellow Devil actually has access to the speed gear, and Carter is going to go for the excellent strat.
It's my favorite. He's going to stick one and lead it over to the vulnerable one. That's so good. And he's done. That is a really good kill. That is almost as fast as you can get it.
Ooh, okay, that was a little close there.
Reed's going for the damage boost strats, which he gets. He had one yesterday where he actually didn't damage boost. Did he get all 4 there? Yeah, he did.
Yep, he's good. Alright, so Wily 2, this stage has so much potential for drops. Basically, the amount of enemies that you're killing, you want to, like, just you're hearing free. He got 1 drop right there. That's actually good enough to keep him going for a lot of the better strats throughout the remaining of this beginning section here.
I think he got that drop from the crunch time he killed.
Ooh,
and most people don't kill that.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. Oh, interesting.
Choosing to tundra that guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's
not that much
probably
slower.
fishing for another drop. I actually like that. I want to do that.
Yeah.
All right, the worst room in the game. This is the Sniper Joe room.
Oh, we get the drop there too. Yeah, this is a stage where you kill a lot of enemies. You got a potential to get a lot of drops in here, and he's coming up pretty good.
Reabs as well, making it now up to the
drop.
Oh, good God. It's getting to the point. He didn't even get that one. It's getting to the point where like he can't even use all this stuff.
He could do the strat where you impact over the big guys. I forget their name.
Okay, so he has a full tank, and if you can't see them, nice. Ooh, and he's sticks it without bonking. Good job.
Coming up the climb. Don't fall down here. That is not a good time. Those things touch you, it is instant death.
There are plenty of recorded screams of terror somewhere on my clip history. It's coming up on Malvern for Carter, while Reabs stays.
I wouldn't be surprised if this is like gold split territory for Carter. He had so many drops.
Reabs got a nice big drop from the Preston.
Oh,
all right, Malvern. Is he gonna go for the?
He did yesterday, but I don't think he did today. There we go. That's a pretty clean Malvern kill.
Reabs will be going.
Yeah, he's going for the Reabs strat, in case you didn't guess.
So yeah, Carter did a double-powered impact with bounce balls in between some double buster shots. Reabs is going for a triple-powered impact and a powered tundra, and that'll save a second over the fight that Carter just did.
There, he gets it. That extra little impact will save him a little bit of time over Reabs, because he doesn't have to dodge the laser at the end. He can just kill him immediately.
Man, both runners on great pace right now.
Carter is doing the tundra impact.
This could cost him 20 seconds.
This saves you 3 seconds, or you could lose 20.
Which is kind of like the difference right now between their runs.
And he gets it.
Oh my God, what a madman.
Yeah, he gets it. That is so tense. jetting over to bounce.
I think they're going to be doing their bosses in a different order as well.
I don't know. I think yesterday they did the same order, but they do use slightly different strategies. The monster there, but you know, no, he has rush here, so it's not that bad.
Not to mention, it's actually it's not terrible if you
He burned out.
Yeah, burning out is fine. That's what I was going to say, because there's so much time between boss ending and entering the next boss, their fanfare, that your gear should be like completely cooled off.
That's the only fight where it matters, because he usually power impacts from one capsule to another, but he couldn't because he burned out.
Oh, you're right. Movement between capsules.
Coming up on block here, this fight is the same. The only one that's really different, other than the impact that we saw, he's going to have to do a different Tundra because he has Fuse now. And he's also going to have to do a different, he's going to have to do a different Torch because he doesn't have enough. Oh, also a different Blast because he doesn't have enough Tundra to use Tundra and Blast either.
Yeah, the boss rush conundrum really is that there's so many boss kills that go for Power Tundra at the start of the fight that we can't actually do all of them. Looks like he's good on Fuse, man.
Yep.
Nice.
Kill. Reabs coming off the block. Reabs just has to keep doing these, keep executing, hope that Carter gives him a door to get back in.
I think the biggest chance for that would be with Torch, man.
Probably, yeah.
Torch and Blast could both easily be dropped as fights.
I know Reabs has a slightly different Tundra too. I wasn't able to make heads or tails of whether it was faster or not.
Yeah, shoutouts to Ben Diskin, by the way. I think both are going with English.
Yeah.
No love for Fukihara.
He hits him with the red. That's what's important. So, he missed. He missed. He's gonna have to power Tundra.
No,
Yep.
that's at least 5-6 seconds.
Yeah. He missed he got the hard part, but he missed the normal Tundra. Now, he still has a little bit, about a one boss lead. He is going into a really difficult Blast refight. This refight is not slower, but it is probably harder to do than the one he did before.
You need to make sure that blue shot hits just as those Torch iframes run out.
Mm-hmm. A little bit of speed gear at the end to make sure he gets it, but he's good. He's made it out of boss rush. Reabs getting out of Torch. About 23-44 for Carter. His splits are blue. I just want to point that out. Oh no, Reabs missing the power buster there, so he's going to have to do some Torch backups.
Luckily, you have so much ammo that you can finish the job. Nice, he even skips the power gear. The way boss AIs work, you can actually manage to kill them, even though you've kind of messed up the fight and they're way below the amount of health. They're still convinced they should be doing something else. Yo, shoutouts to Twitch rivals there,
Yeah. So Wily Capsule coming up. By the way, making this cycle here is really awesome. But Wily Capsule coming up is no RNG, or Wily Machine is no RNG. Wily Capsule is more RNG. We're going to be using Acid Shield and actually touching him with the Acid Shield, which does the most damage out of anything.
And for the speed run, this is really the only case where Acid Barrier is super useful. Jump in the window, Acid Barrier, fire him down, and another one. Good stuff. So that's pretty easy to nail. Machine is very consistent. But then Capsule, you constantly have to be doing damage boosts just to make sure that your Acid Barrier will actually hit and not pop off of one of the other hitboxes. Like he's going to be throwing out gears, which could easily chew out the Acid Barrier.
Oh, he jumped up into him.
Nice!
That's great.
But you see that last one.
21. Yep. I always switch are always blue. Okay.
That beats Reabs and my PB.
Yeah. That's a sick run. That's only... Let me look at his PB real quick. That is only... Wow. 15 seconds off his PB. And that's less than a minute from world record.
2 more for Reabs.
Yeah,
More.
Reabs finishing up.
Oh! Okay, there we go. Nice. Now we're just waiting for them to maybe shake it out, stretch their hands, and then get right into.
Your man, and tell me what you see.
So yeah, that was such a close race. That was actually really incredible. That was such a good race and really incredible. I'm so impressed. They both had really good runs. Reached just a couple mistakes in the end. They caught them, and it just really impressed me how consistent these runners are. And they really don't have very many bad runs. Get your GGs in chat, by the way, if you haven't already. We are going to be going on to round 2. So the situation again, this is the grand finals that Carter had to win yesterday at a force. So this is for all the marbles. If Carter wins either of the next 2 matches, if there are 2 more matches, then he is the tournament champion. If Reabs wants to win, he has to win the next 2 back-to-back. Against an opponent like Carter, it's not impossible for a guy like Reabs, but it's also not going to be easy.
It's not like I'm not cheering on Reabs. Really proud of the way Carter has come back.
Yeah, Carter really has turned up the heat in these finals. If you didn't hear earlier, Carter lost the first matchup between these two, which was the last round of the winners bracket. Won the losers bracket and came back to challenge Reabs again. Won yesterday 2-1. We'll see if he can do it again tonight.
Now, the first runs that they just had, extremely clean. They could easily have died at any point and lost 45 seconds to a minute, depending on where they died. If they can keep this up, if they can just keep this up for the next 2 races, we'll see extremely close races where, like, if neither of them dies, or if they both die, if they both take a death each, you know, gentlemen's agreement.
Please listen. No, you listen to this. At every turn you
I love the backstory, by the way. Thanks for sharing the deep lore with us.
Wiley, control yourself. I see.
Yeah, Wiley's a good guy, man. He was pushed the wrong way a little too hard by someone who doesn't like overclocking your PC.
Research into robots with independent thought. Thank you, everyone. Why are you fools so blind?
Robots with independent thought.
One day, Light.
What could
terrifying
possibly go
idea.
wrong?
Yeah.
I was right all along.
I have an important question for you, Sage, while we wait for the next match to start up. Out of all the Robot Masters, and for any reason, which one is your favorite?
Ooh, that is a tough one.
Now I'll show you Light.
I would have to say Blockman. Blockman, I empathize with him. I love the puns.
Blockman's a hard-working little guy.
I love robot masters that read your inputs. So if you haven't caught up on this, a lot of the robot masters in this game actually react to the buttons you're pushing on your controllers, or the other ones react to like your positioning, or sometimes both. In the case of like Blastman, he reads your inputs and does different stuff depending on where you are in relation to him.
Yeah, so by starting out the fight with Blockman holding down the rapid fire buster, he will jump because he's under the assumption that you're going to run and gun to him. Yo, shoutouts to Tundra Man. Personally, I'm a big fan of
Tundra.
Tengu Man.
I'm a big 4 run man. Like, I ran 4 before I ran 11. So I really do like Tundra Man. He was designed by Dr. Kosek, so it's in the lore.
I strongly believe.
Yo, respect the lore.
Research must stop.
Do you, you knew that Blockman and Impact Man were made by the same company, right?
I did not know that. Which company?
Now Kuma Manufacturing.
Oh, okay. Setting up something for the sequel. I think we're about to get going here. By the way, they did say there was more Mega Man under development. Okay, looks like they had a false start here. I believe the race started... Yeah.
And they're off. Carter did not reset his timer.
Yeah, they're gonna restart. They're gonna restart. This is a false start. Mr. Cab asking if Block also likes to spike.
It's a good question.
It is not his weakness, which I thought it would be. So that was my guess going in.
To be fair, you know, they both work for the same company, so Impact Man does all the spiking.
Yeah, it is. It is kind of an odd setup. Like you have Impact Man, who I imagine would break the blocks, or I guess help build stuff.
Yo, Volt calling out Magma Dragoon, which I respect. The Street Fighter of Xbots.
Proto Man is a boss in 7, so that does count. Does not count in 3, however.
Yo, shoutouts to Cutman appearing in Mega Man 8 as well.
Actually, a lot of robots make a cameo, don't they? And we are about to get started with the actual second round. No flags on the play this time. So, little things that are going on here, and we can kind of talk about this a second time through, but just the movement is so big in this game, and watch the way when they jump up to a ledge, they're going to jump just barely enough to get up there and nothing more. And as soon as they touch the ground, they're going to start sliding. There's no wasted time or movement in their play. And that really is one of the biggest things. Like when people ask me, what's the difference between these two runners? Well, I mean, other than not dying or missing quick kills, that's probably the biggest thing. And it adds up a lot over the run.
There's so many subtle things that we can start to cover. That's absolutely true. Like, for example, Reabs there was using power gear to charge up. And normally when you use a power gear to charge up your attack, you'd be going for the double buster afterwards. But if you turn it off, you actually can charge up your blue shot much faster than normal. So like you're holding out a blue shot, it takes like, you know, maybe a second and a half, 2 seconds, close to that. But because power just charges up so much faster and you can just turn it off afterwards, he has a couple strats and they're hard to see, hard to notice, where he'll just like quickly have power gear on just so he can get a faster blue shot.
I do find it's neat this room too. Reabs actually killing the pickaxe guy, whereas Carter just rush coils over him, is a little bit faster to kill those guys. Also gives you more chances for drops. Coming up to the mini boss here, final buster charge. Looks good for both of them.
Yeah, getting over that Pikmin X thrower is one of the hardest parts, just because there's not much of a ceiling there, so like you have to be on point with where you jump.
And I don't know if he explicitly explained this, but if you get hit, you lose your charge while you're in power gear. So you cannot get hit at all. Getting through the big room. Let's see Reabs.
Carter makes it, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh god.
They both had little mistakes, but nothing catastrophic. They got through.
Oh man, this game is so committal. The reason why Carter lost time there was literally because like if you screw up, he was holding left out of the sheer fact that like I might die. What are you mad, man?
He goes for it again and he gets it. You can see how much faster that is. Reabs has to wait for the platform to go to the right and call out rush and jump up.
Now again, I want to see what fight they go for here. Reabs probably going for the traditional fight. We'll see if Carter can get the double busters. Remember, he's doing that during one of the attacks, and you barely have the time to do it as soon as he starts and right as he finishes before Impact Man goes into power.
Missing that first one was kind of a RNG based gamble, which Carter did not win. So he's kind of going to do a different. Ooh, he missed a blue. He's got to finish it up. Okay, he gets it.
Nice. Pretty tense at the end there, because if you missed that shot, that would have been it. You would have seen Power Gear.
Someone asked, does the platform they play on matter? A little bit. So Carter's playing on PC and Reeds is playing on PS4. PS4 has loading times, which you'll see a little, like even right there, you can see it took a little longer to load that weapon get screen. And sometimes you'll see a loading graphic in the bottom right that will not appear on Carter's screen. But the PC is a little poorly optimized, and if you're not running at 60 frames, you are actually losing time because the game's running slower.
Not to mention, anytime the game drops frames, it can actually eat your inputs during that. So you have to adjust within like a very short window of time there to make sure you actually. Ooh, Carter, I think missed a couple shots or didn't realize what he was doing. But he was definitely probably going for the impact kill again. And again, that although he uses more ammo, he's trying to get a drop off of Crunchstone to make up for the fact that he's impact. Both runners barely grab the ladder, call rush, let go, and then you just bounce way higher onto the ladder. You should be able to grab.
Yeah, the ladder is really running slow, so like it's just so slow to climb up. So you kind of just touch the ladder to align yourself into the little gap there, and you fall down and rush and bounce straight up. And coming through, Reabs again doing the final buster strat. Carter choosing not to. He went for it once yesterday, and after he missed it the first time, he just didn't go for it. Also, Reabs skipping those bolts, so he does kind of gamble on how many bolts he's going to get. And Reads the slightly faster mini boss kill because of that final buster strat.
But of course, Reabs is now burnt out, which means he has to use his impact differently, even than if he had access to power gear. Because a regular impact costs 3 ammo, a power impact costs 4 ammo. So we have all of these distances set in mind in terms of like, well, we want to do this combination of power and impact in these cases.
Interesting card.
Feel free.
Can you guys hear us now?
I can hear you, Sage.
Moo can hear me. Can you guys hear me? Oh, we're back. We're back in it.
Okay, good. I don't need to jack my friend's account anymore to type on commentary.
All right, so you saw some funny stuff there. I noticed that Carter had a slightly sloppy W-tank grab and had to use speed gear to actually make sure he didn't die. Because if you take a hit there or you're too slow, that you will die.
Alternatively, he could have used a Tundra, power or not. It probably would have been about as effective because whenever you use the Tundra weapon, you briefly stop in place to perform the animation.
Yeah. Yep.
But so far, deathless from both runners.
Reads the very slightly... And a lot of that actually is from Carter. I mean, this is still about where they were at the end of Impact, with Reads having a slight lead because Carter messed up the fight.
So as we go back through these stages, I can actually gush a little bit about some of the things, the small things that are like really hard to notice, but now that everyone's kind of been primed a little bit, I can kind of talk about a couple of them. So for example, the power torch that's used in that previous room was used so that the angle of the shot would blow up the crates furthest to the left, which does save a small amount of time. Reabs sliding off because you just so happen to power impact through that fire surf, which gives you a better chance of picking up the ammo drop if it does give you one.
My heart.
And then Carter's ammo is going to be a lot lower because of having to use those extra torches there, which was going to make it difficult at the end of the stage to decide whether or not he's going to, if he has enough to blow up the boxes and go for the rush coil climb up in the last. Reabs doing double power impact there. Tundra on Joe. No drops. Again, checking for drops after they kill an enemy by switching to impacts quick. Carter, again, using power torch specifically so that it fires serve faster than if you use the Tundra like Reabs did. No drops there for Carter.
Reabs going up. He actually blew up the boxes above him. You're going to see Carter do this too. Using torch to blow up the boxes above him so he can rush coil up there. So
nice.
Such a neat little strat.
Ooh, and that's hard to do. He actually calling rush as he's flush with the wall there so that he can land on him as soon as possible. Also, getting under that Shimobi, not easy. Okay, so Reabs getting the double shot in the middle, jump up, double shot for the top left. That was a little awkward.
Yeah.
Still
gets it. You want to make sure that red hits him before he lands, because he will activate his power gear if he lands there. Yep, Reed's pulling ahead a little bit, but they're about to go in some pretty difficult stages. We're going to see Reabs go into bounce and Carter in the block. They're going to meet back up at stage 8 again.
During races with Reabs and the guys, it is actually a great part where when we're all pretty close and we just look at Reabs and we're like, see it, acid.
He told me that once, and I had to break the news to him that I wouldn't see him until Wiley won.
Oh, that's true! You do it all!
So moving in the block, and you can see Carter there using a torch all the way from the left side of the screen and kind of followed it. He's going to do it again on this screen. That's going to let him kind of kill stuff that's further away. See, breaking that one block for him. Oh, he missed that one, however.
It's kind of nice what we're afforded because we have access to so many, because we're using the tanks in these stage. We kind of are afforded a couple extra strats for, let's say, like a little smaller amount of time. For example, on this mini boss here, using the Power Tundra, Power Blast, Power Tundra, if you wanted to go for the best block fight, you wouldn't be able to repeat that on the second mini boss because you would run out of Tundra ammo. But because we are using the tank, we do have access to them.
And it is interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, he gets through.
Everyone has slightly different strats for that room if they end up screwing up. Like, has their own backups on lockdown.
It is interesting how close, like there are two different routes for this game, how close they are. The world record, Peony, he's 33-30 flat, and he buys a ton of W tanks at the shop. He actually buys one he doesn't even use. But the second place, which is only 2 seconds behind him, doesn't even go to the shop. That's QTT6, by the way.
Yeah, they're literally just a second apart, and is essentially it's just new strats. Maybe you're better at the new strats. Maybe you prefer the old stuff. Complicates it too much for you.
A little bit of speed gear to make sure that block doesn't fall on him. That block will smash you into the pit if it hits it.
Nice, Reabs getting the coil jet there. Didn't get the chance to cover it earlier, but the reason why that is not a developer-intended strat is because normally when you bounce off of Rush, even if you mash Rush Jet from coil, Rush shouldn't be able to catch you. But by switching to another weapon, you're able to dismiss Rush, which allows Rush to appear more quickly afterward.
Yeah, that is not a developer intended strat, but it's very difficult, especially on those screens where the screen is scrolling upwards with you. You only have a few frame window to press Rush Jet to come up. Otherwise, you will fall down. Carter looks good with block, so he gets the timing right. Yep.
So a little bit about the weapon weakness order. It's essentially, it kind of boils down to you need to have Blast for block because Blast just saves so much time in block. From there, you need Blast weakness, which is Torch. Torch's weakness being Tundra, and Tundra being a stage that you can do just fine without weapons. Like, using all of your weapons doesn't save you that much time. Like, if you look at the leaderboard, if you can use weapons to save a little bit more time here and there, but it's been routed in such a way that it's fine not having a lot of the... including Scrambled Thunder, which is Tundra Man's weakness. You want a lot of weapons for few. So in terms of the last four then, where does that leave us? Well, we already have everything we need, essentially, to handle the last two stages, Fuse and Acid. So those are typically what runners will do last. Block and Bounce differ quite a bit. So Reabs is going for a lot of strats that a lot of the other runners don't, but he has backup strats. He has ways to make fights just as fast. For example, the mini-boss, a lot of the runners who do block before Bounce use block on the mini-boss in... Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Carter just had some trouble getting up there. He wasted a lot of rush trying to get a coil jet on Bounce Man. It's going to put him in a precarious situation later because he's short on rush now.
I'm just trying to think. He needs it just for the ladder, then he should be fine.
Yeah,
just speed up jumping up the ladder.
I thought he
have a little bit of support.
No, he missed it. He missed it once, and then he tried to jet jump up and missed that as well. So he wasted a total of 8 rush. Sorry, go ahead. I was just reacting.
It's okay. He only needs it for this ladder right here, which he does have the one. He's completely out. Then he'll do double impact here, grab the ladder, and
Reads, by the way, going up above. This is a strat you don't see very many people see. Or, sorry, do.
I really wish that there was a lectury, so that you didn't have to walk into it and damage boost.
Mm-hmm.
Because taking damage in this game costs you at least a second.
Yeah, it's so slow to take damage. That's why you don't see very many damage boosts, because it's just very rarely worth the time it takes.
Now Reabs, Carter going for a coil jet here.
Decided not to, so he's gonna go to the shop again and buy the W tank he missed.
Went from block to bounce, whereas Reabs goes from bounce to fuse. And oh no!
Okay.
Just a bonk. That's fine.
Yep.
He's still high enough to get the full bounce.
I was worried about whether that would push him all the way back up to the top, but it does.
Yo, there's German voice acting? Oh, wait, for Mega Man 8. I was going to say, for Mega Man 11, I would have been super hype. I want to hear that.
Alright, so Reeves looks like probably has a little bit of a lead here, I would guess, looking at it. Carter had some slop in his bounce, and I don't remember Reeves having that much. But
now the world is mine. Sorry.
Like, he doesn't need a huge, like, catastrophic mistake, and, you know, a bunch of little mistakes could add up for Reabs, or, you know, just a simple, I slid too far in acid and slid into a spike, or I fell down in Wily 1. I mean, that can do it. Not that I wish that on anyone.
We don't want these things to happen. It's just gonna happen.
You have to accept, if you run Mega Man 11, that you are going to fail at some point.
By the way, if you would love to run this game, first of all, God bless your soul. I hope you have the patience for it. There are a lot of people who would be willing to answer a lot of questions for you in the classics.
Yeah, so there is a leaderboards on MegaManLeaderboards.net, and there is a Discord that goes along with that leaderboard that has all sorts of information. You can come and ask me and Moo or Carter and Reabs, or guys like Facet CC, Chani, anyone, pick your runner. You can come ask us questions. You're welcome to Facet CC and Chalny for me volunteering you, by the way.
And as much as I would like to, probably not on the menu for now, but there is still a guide right now. It doesn't cover the stuff that, like, this game is changing and changing and changing. So many new strats keep coming out. But there is a bunch of basic strats that I did lay down the lines for, at least. So if you want to check out that video series, you can find that.
That is actually the guide that I use to really get into running this game for real. And I mean, I feel like I have a fairly decent time now, so it clearly worked.
Absolutely. Welcome to the sub 35.
Yeah, just barely clipping there. I gotta go back to the lab because run was 40 seconds for my summer best, so I really can't get any better without working in some new stuff.
All right, so Reabs now approaching block, Carter finishing up fuse.
Thanks, Volt. I appreciate that. The slight little dip. If you didn't know, Carter eliminated me before he went on to the grand finals or the winners finals.
Ah, yes, Carter's no worries, just gonna PB during the tournament match.
I had put together two really good runs, both 35s, like mid 35s. Carter has a freaking PB in the second race, and then the third one I couldn't contain it anymore, and I jumped in the pit like 4 times.
I really can't overstate how impressive it is just to be able to 35 in a race, because that's just how brutal this game can be. So getting a low 34 during these no reset moments is nuts. Now Reabs in acid stage, again, hoping to get some drops. I love watching Reabs' runs because like he does all these rooms slightly different, takes out a couple more enemies, or manages to get around them in ways that I haven't seen before. It gives me food for thought, because I'm just like, man, I want to lab this and find out if there's a way I can do this while doing some of the strats that I'm doing.
Yeah, you can kind of pick and choose what you want to add. I do a strat that's more like Carter, but then on the back end of the stage, I use a W tank, so my back half flip's more like Reabs. It's all crazy, and it's so out there. We have not figured out the optimal strats for everything yet. And by the way, this game just came out early last October. It's barely 6 months old, if I'm doing my math right. There is a lot more stuff to find in this game.
I will say that someone just mentioned it, Carter with his nerves. Keeping yourself stable while running this game, recovering from any small mistakes and just not panicking, making sure that you still have your hands on the wheel the whole time. That is a skill in and of itself. It's not wrong to say that runners can make slips and mistakes, that's for sure, and being able to recognize when you are in error and being able to recover from so is incredibly difficult. Reabs just picking up a large drop-off on fire service, really loaded on ammo.
Yeah, he's got a lot of impact. He has used his W tank, right?
He did, I believe, but he also got a drop as well. And the thing is, like, Acid is a stage where if you get a bunch of drops towards the end, there's just not a lot of places you can use them. It's so much up and down rather than horizontal, and the horizontal is filled with fun.
I'm gonna be in here. Yeah, so we're gonna see. This is a pretty straightforward. It's a fairly easy, quick kill. Not too much to say about it. If we did mention earlier, you use the block to break his shield at the start, and then it's 2 busters and blocks from there. No, Carter. Oh, that's so bad. He's gonna go back to before the mini boss. He was almost at the end.
You have
And-
no ammo either.
Oh
So
man,
I
I
don't-
hope he has a tank.
I don't think we've actually seen a death yet in this race. So what we're gonna have to kind of talk about here is he's gonna have to have backup strats because he doesn't have the impact to do all the strats he did the first time. So he's gonna have to do some backups and pray for some lucky drops that'll let him do the strats that he wants to do. On top of the fact that he lost all the time just by going back. And he doesn't get any. So he's gonna have to do this all without any impact.
By the way, these jumps that he's doing right now, I wish he would equip Chain Blast or something.
Yeah.
Because if you mess up those jumps there, you either crash into the spikes above you or you fall into the spikes below.
So
Yes, sir.
I don't want anyone to think it's over, though. By the way, finally getting a drop, but not. There's only a couple of rooms left. It's not over. There is so much more left of this game. Reabs is an extremely scary Wily 1 stage, and there's a very scary stage after that too.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna call attention to it, not because I'm trying to curse it, but I'm just trying to say that it's a possibility that can happen to any runner. With Yellow Devil, you mess up that fight and you die. You don't have ammo. You don't have a tank. You're in big trouble. Carter might be okay because Carter and I have practiced the Buster only version of that fight, but I don't think Reabs has. So if he doesn't have the ammo to do blast on Yellow Devil for whatever reason, that's a huge potential to die, even game
I
over.
believe he did buy 6 tanks earlier, so he should be good. Although that means we'd have to waste a tank just to refill Chain Blast for the boss.
Trying not to curse and not actively
Yeah.
cursing. I am definitely trying to, at the very least, bring attention to the fact that, like, you are never safe in this game.
Oh no, never.
You can die anywhere.
I recently saw a runner just the other night lose a 33 in Wily 4, and that hurts. They knew who they are. I'm not going to call them out.
I think I know who you're talking about.
No, you know exactly who I'm talking about, though. Oh, Carter went over. Oh!
Reminder that Wily 1 is a place where it's like, oh, you have help? That's cool and all, but, like, I'm going to knock you into a...
So he's not forfeiting. He's actually restarting the stage because he doesn't have enough ammo to do anything. So it's actually faster to exit the stage, come back, you get full ammo again, you can try again. But at this point, he is basically hoping for something catastrophic to happen, just to catch up, not even to win.
I would say that Reabs is still on 34 pace, while that essentially puts Carter on 36 pace.
Yeah, so he would need like a really bad death by Reabs. Like, there's a couple I can think of, but I'm not going to name them.
Actively trying to not curse it. Pity. It won't work.
Yeah. So Reed's moving through here. You can see him using the fire again, kind of using it way early in the screen, and then following it as it kills things in front of him so he can get through quickly in its wake.
Man, Reabs passing by that room with that Carter strat that I really want to take advantage of next time, using the Tundra to take out that Pakon.
Yeah, that actually, because you have to do such a big dumb jump over the shield, it's probably not really slower, to be honest, and it gives you a chance at a drop.
Yeah, I think it's
There is
either as fast or like maybe a tiny bit slower, and then it gives you that drop potential. I want it.
There is a even faster strat, but that's for guys named QTT6 only.
Oh god.
You jump on the rush jet, and then as you jump back to the right, you switch to torch in the air and torch him. No,
So-
thank you.
That is while you are moving left and holding up with rush, you are jumping to the right and holding down left with the right analog stick and firing. Anyone want to do that?
That's silly. That's the kind of thing where you would have to literally use your left hand on the right analog stick or something.
With probably
Reed making up that scary
right
screen,
part of
by
the
the way.
D-pad. Ooh,
He
he
doesn't
doesn't have
enough
ammo.
impacts. No, he has another tank in reserve. Okay, he psyched us. Yeah, so Mr. Cat points out QTT is the only madman crazy enough to run this game on keyboard instead of a controller, which does gives him slight advantages, but I don't want to make it sound like it's a crutch. It's definitely not.
Just try playing the game on keyboard. Tell me it's an advantageous thing that you feel. Keyboard running is an effort in and of itself.
The only nice thing is you actually have there's more things you can bind buttons to in this in this game. There's more things you can bind to buttons than you actually have buttons on your controller. So most runners are opting not to have certain things on their controller. And then even then, like PC players, a lot of them will edit the layout in Steam to give them like customized layouts. And that is really intense.
That was pretty scary on Carter's side. He got caught up in the Sniper Joe room, which Sniper Joe room, if you die there, sends you back to the beginning without any ammo. So, with good reason, Carter stopped for a moment and powered Tundra to clear.
Reabs coming up on impact, waiting for the last attack, not doing the Tundra strats.
No drops from Carter's side.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. So to reiterate that he doesn't have any, that he didn't get any drops, didn't have full ammo, you would normally use an impact to go through that Pakon. He actually just opted to jump
over it. Moo, by the way, providing all the proper names for the enemies. Or I'm over here in the Stone Age saying like Shield Dude.
Yo, but my
Get
favorite.
Shield Dude.
What a good.
Pakon.
Those
I'm
are Tata
learning.
Pakons.
Oh,
I call him Pakon for short because the other one's a mouthful. I will if you call the Gary Oles Roombas because that's actually what they are.
Reeds, by the way, from what I've seen, having a pretty good refight. I've been watching kind of back and forth. Looks good on Black here. He's just going to make sure he gets the time. And this was kind of probably Carter's last big hope is maybe Reeds will see a power gear or have a major mistake. We did have a run yesterday where it looks like Reeds had it on lock and managed to lose it in Wily 4. So, I mean, anything's possible, but it definitely looks like a pretty solid lead for Carter. I'm sorry, pretty solid read for Reabs. Oh,
Words are hard. Don't worry about it. You're fine, man. Reabs having to clean up that that fuse fight. I think that's one of the funniest fights to have to clean up because it's just a bounce party. So I guess we didn't really talk about this on the first time around, but there is a difference for the second time you're fighting Tundra Man. You actually have his weakness, so instead of doing the double buster shenanigans, you're actually starting out with 2 Scramble Thunders, in Reabs' case, doing a double buster shot right after the last bit of the Scramble Thunder comes around. It's the same way I do it. Carter actually fires 2 immediately, which spaces them in such a way that the shot won't hit before iframes run out, so he'll actually do the double buster early and then Scramble Thunder on demand to kill.
do you actually know which one of those is faster? Because I have no idea.
They're the same.
And I have seen Reabs do a final buster there as well. I don't know if it's just because he let it go late.
Doing a final buster there would be insane because you barely have the amount of power gear charge time to do that.
Yeah.
I would not personally double final shot there.
I saw him do it yesterday, and I had no clue what I was saying. I guess he was just feeling it.
Nice. The last
Very nice, very nice.
last kill went just fine for him. Carter dealing with block. Power Tundra. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rush. Let me just go ahead and emphasize that you barely have the time to fire off that final shot before block would transform.
I would guess you probably have about 5 frames to let go of the button.
And that all depends actually entirely on how you have your bombs flying toward the wall, because when you throw blast bombs, they'll only start detonating once they interact with an object, either an enemy or the wall. If you give yourself as much time as possible by, oh no, okay, he'll just be cleaning up the fuse fight. You can give yourself a lot of extra time with the blast detonation, but then Block might actually walk outside of the range of the detonation. So either way, no matter how you do the fight with Block, man, it's going to be extremely difficult for that very low 14.
Reads, by the way, getting through, did not make the same mistake he made yesterday where he fell into the spikes.
So I wager he has about 30 to 40 seconds left now till the end of the run. It's about a 37 for a decent kill between Wily, Capsule, and Machine.
Ooh, actually gets a splash there, I think.
Getting completely... No.
Oh, he just didn't touch him at all.
Got hit.
Yeah.
He got hit and he rode the missile to the other side of the screen.
Carter flipping weapons. He knows he has to wait now.
Nice.
Reabs already in final Wily.
One more?
Fight's going well.
Time
There we
here.
go. Reed 34
34. That's actually really close to his PB. Yo, the 34.34.
Oh, wow.
Finishing in style.
So we'll see if Carter wants to finish up or if he just wants to move on to game 3 here. Looks like he's, I don't know, maybe he hasn't seen IRC yet.
Oh, yeah. Something else to note here real quick. This game is extra not forgiving because if you die to a boss like double KOs, they're not in your favor. You have to do it. He wasn't about to die from that attack, but he did just barely kill Blast before the bomb hit him.
I also want to point out, well, that's not a PB for Reabs. That is his best time in a race by 3 seconds. Ooh, a little bit of oh, no! No! There's really nothing you can do except fall down there. If you mistime that impact, he might be able to last. Nope.
Oh, he wanted it, though. He really wanted it.
Yeah,
Okay, so
you
without
really
that
do wanna be
impact...
careful there. Nearly, it is best 2 out of 3. They are 1-1 right now. So the next match is it. That is the last match of the tournament. Whoever wins is taking on the trophy. That's what it's come down to. I can't
taking
believe
it down to a final match of Grand Finals with a
Yep.
reset.
Yeah, the little classic Mega Man 1-ups are the wins. They couldn't tie. This is the finale. Yep. Don't ask me what happens if they have the exact same time down to the hundreds. I'm just gonna cry.
I'm just going to go ahead and say it's not going to happen.
Moving through Wily Machine. Taking an intentional damage boost there. There's 2 ways you can do that. You can either intentionally take a damage boost, or you can try and do a little strat where you just tap him with the shield as soon as he becomes vulnerable. The damage boost is more consistent, but also means you're using another acid and some of your health. Oh no, he's out of acid.
Means he's going to have to use the blast.
No! That's so bad. We'll see what he wants to do. He's gonna finish. I think. Yeah, he's gonna finish.
He's not picking up the ammo, though,
Didn't
either.
pick up the ammo.
I think this is a really good showcase of just how much harder this
Yeah.
can actually be. Like, the fact that, again, both runners had really solid first runs, and Reabs had a solid second run. Just think about, like, what Carter's going through. Carter has a really good time. He's a really good player, and this still happened.
Carter actually has the slightly better PV of the two. But, I mean, in a race, anything can happen.
Yo, look at this intended
Buster
stuff.
only. The BOGO strats. No gears, no weapons. Just Mega Man and Wily. So there are different like variants of these runs. In addition, I talked about before, there was an out of bounds category. There's also Buster only, and some players choose to take it a step further and not use the gears as well. So that's called Buster. BOGO. Buster only, no gears. Or I'm sorry, Bong. Bong. Not BOGO. BOGO is something else.
Buster only.
Buster only, no gears. BONG.
Buster only, no gears is Bong, and then BOGO sounds like Buster and gear only. Buster only, gears only.
Yeah. BOGO is where you can use gears, but you can't use special weapons.
I would say the category that is enjoyable in that regard, although I did suffer immensely trying to do it, was Blue Percent that Carter got me to do, which is so long as Mega Man stays blue, you are okay, which means you can also use Rush, Coil, and Jet.
Practicing for his Buster only world record attempts. Wily always wins. This is what you don't want to see, by the way. This is Wily's double gear. Oh, he's getting bad RNG. He can't hit him. There we go.
Nice!
So Wily actually does have, in addition to his power and speed gear, when he's low on health, he actually uses double gear, where he has both power and speed gear running for the rest of the... Which is actually something that Mega Man can do, and I think that's like the only game function that's not shown off in the speedrun right now. Maybe one day.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Blue Percent is kind of fun. It's very hard. All right, I think honestly using like just going with the Buster only strats was a good way for Carter to just kind of unwind, cool down, take a deep breath.
You gotta clear your head after something like that, you know.
But yeah, if he had gotten it, even if he had gone for like regular strats, not just Buster only, he probably would have gotten like a 38 or a 37.
All right, we are coming up to our last race. Any predictions, everyone in chat?
Oh man, I really want to say that Reabs has shown to me consistency again and again. I feel like Reabs could take this just because he is more solid, but Carter definitely has the better strats.
Yeah, Carter, Reabs, that's kind of how I feel about the strats they picked too. The W-Tank strats are more consistently fast, whereas Carter, if he gets the drops, he's gonna go really fast. But if he doesn't, it's gonna his strats are gonna fall behind a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still a gambling man myself here. Chelney as well, preferring the no shop strat. And since Fast finished up at Calithon, he's actually, when he hits the grind again, Fast is actually going to start doing shop.
It is interesting how things have played out, because kind of all of us in the kind of English-speaking Mega Man community, speedrunning community, came up with these no-shop strats. For the most part, we weren't shopping too much. And then Peony and... let me look up their names so I don't butcher them.
Peony, Nanji Mao,
and
Mayo Bang.
Yeah. They came out, Chinese runners, which we didn't really have any contact with before, with entirely different strats that they had developed separately from us. And it was really neat to kind of meet up with runners. I mean, you can't even really... I don't think we communicate too much, because I don't think they speak much English. But just kind of share strats and look at the stuff they came up with kind of in a vacuum of their own. And now they're kind of starting to cross-pollinate.
The beast from the east.
Peony does have the world record, so, I mean, that does say something. Though not by much.
Yo, but we're the Wild West, man. We're coming back.
you kind of look at other games too, like Street Fighter 2 was a big thing, with suddenly discovering Japanese players and discovering that they have an entirely different approach to the game. Really, by the way, world record chat's asking is 33:30 flat by Peony. Second place is 33:32 by QTT6. I believe third is now Facet CC with a 33:48.
Yeah, he got that in an offline run, the actual madman.
Yeah. just warming up. Got third place.
No big deal. Yo, I love that strat, by the way. This climb that both of them are doing, I don't do. I don't know if you go for that one, Sage, do you?
I do now.
Yeah, that's not
That's
easy.
a fun strat, yeah.
But it does cut out a damage boost, and it is technically faster.
Ooh, drop by Carter. It
Yeah,
does save about a second if you get a big drop in the stage.
And both of those got that jump right there. That's actually not easy to do. In the previous screen underneath the Pikmin, where you're basically jumping right off the last pixel. Visual cue wise, like you do have a little bit of like, it's almost like Coyote time, but it's not much. Essentially, like when you're running off a ledge, you can still jump. But you have slightly more of that, like visually it's deceiving if you're sliding off, which also limits the window within which you can.
It's not quite as big, like coming from classic Mega Man speedrunning, it's not quite as big, where like in Mega Man 4, Mega Man's like elbow can still be on the ledge and you can still jump off of it. You can hang really far out, whereas in this game it's not quite as pronounced.
Yeah,
Coming up in the big scary room, by the way, where they're gonna damage boost through the spikes.
my visual cue for sliding off and jumping is like Mega Man's hand.
He's
Ooh,
not
getting
gonna
hit
be able to
early.
take a damage boost, so he's gonna have to take a ride.
I would
falls
rather
down.
give up and die.
Yeah. I think you just need to go. You just need to accept that you failed at that point. Ooh, this is scary though, because enemies are throwing stuff at you as you ride, and this does lose about 14 seconds, I think.
Let me just say that there are a lot of strats that people have practiced backups for, but I almost guarantee you no one knows how to actually legitimately ride that thing.
There
is the
is
first
no good backup for that. You just have to accept, and then worse, you get to sit there and kind of think about, oh, he's probably like 15 seconds ahead of me right now.
Oh, yeah, you do have all that time for your conscience to just sit on you and be like, how do you feel right now? Not good, don't ask. Oh, man.
The one grace is he made a second back by getting that drop, so he got a little bit RNG. Also, Reabs not getting the fast pattern. We'll see what Carter gets here. Carter gets the fast pattern, so he's going to go for the better fight. There we go. Oh, no, he didn't get it. I thought he had it.
There is no escape.
So that is Power Gear Impact. That's kind of a bad start for Carter. He's going to be behind about like 30 seconds coming out of Impact. But once again, there's still a lot of Mega Man to play.
I hope that this really hits home with what I was saying earlier, that like if you can make it past the first two stages, you kind of have a run going, because yeah, this Carter's showing is very typical of what happens to people who run this.
Yeah, impact resets. I mean, usually you're resetting for quite a while if you're going for PBs to get out of impact. And then even if you get out of impact, it's still kind of like, okay, now I get to try Tundra. And then maybe if you make it out of Tundra, you actually have something, to be excited about. So far, both Tundras look good. I haven't really seen too many mistakes. Carter getting a drop right there, which is going to help him catch up a little bit. I mean, it depends on how good your PB is. Eventually, this game will get to the point where, like, for me in Mega Man 4, it wasn't a run until I cleared, like, Wily 1. And then I could be excited. Carter getting another drop. So good.
Unfortunately, Reabs was not able to take care of Mammoth Steel the way he was supposed to.
So Carter's going for the easier strat here, just using a Buster and speed gearing. We'll see. Does Reabs go for the spike impact? It doesn't look like he is.
He does not. By the way, Tamale, I see you in chat. The RNG of drops would drive me insane. And I would agree. I normally would agree. It is frustrating and a bit demoralizing knowing that you can lose almost half a minute of time based on whether or not you get good RNG throughout all the stages. However, I will say that also makes it extremely exciting when you do get those drops. Like for me, Torch, Blast, Block, sometimes in Bounce, even in Fuse, like you get a drop, you're like, oh yeah, now I can go fast.
Yeah, it is. It is highs and lows, and actually, the RNG in this game, I don't think is too bad. Like if you say it's only 30 seconds of RNG compared to some other Mega Man games, it's not too bad. Reabs getting through this scary wind screen. It looks like Carter. Yep, he's fine.
It does look like he's about half a minute behind, and I firmly believe that it's maybe just half a minute at most for RNG drops that you're losing. If you got bad luck on every stage, which doesn't usually happen.
Where's my Mega Man 4 runners? Anyone want to talk about Square Machine? The boss where they decided to make the pattern that's way faster, also way more rare, so it's like a single-digit % chance of happening.
That
so
sounds awful.
If you want to break a world record, you have to get to world record pace, and then hope you get like a 5% chance of actually getting to continue.
By the way, Reabs does this screen differently than a lot of the other runners do. He actually goes through 2 of the owls at the top of the screen, just in case they give him a drop. Reabs is particularly hungry on this stage. In fact, so much so that if he doesn't get drops, he's actually a little screwed.
Yeah, Reabs gambles hard. Even on top of the fact that he already uses all these W tanks, he really goes for it.
I heard it. I heard the satisfying sound of weapon blips filling up as he pierced through that rock. So Carter already got his first drop.
Gonna go over to switch over to Reabs audio since he's a little bit in the lead right here.
Oh, does Reabs also have English VA?
I believe he does, and classic. So there's Japanese VA for this game, and there's also an instrumental track that we haven't heard yet today. The instrumental track, I think, is really good. There's a couple of them where I prefer the classic, but for the most part, I like the instrumental better.
Ah, yes. The familiar sounds of Ben Diskin going, hot, hot, whenever he power impacts.
Ha!
Yo, the power Tundra grunts, though, is super empowering.
Yeah.
Reabs, by the way, jumping over that tank oven, that's something he typically does. That is not easy to do.
Oh, no, that is so precise. And the thing is so picky, like sometimes it'll just back up. Carter doing that a little bit in the dark. There are pits in there that you can fall into. Ooh, impacting a little too high, though. Give him a little bit of that time back.
Part of the reason why jumping over tank ovens is so dumb is because they know you want to jump over them. So, like, as soon as you start jumping over them, they just start backpedaling. Like,
by the way, this strat where he pushes back the tank and then he shoots the tent while it's off screen, so that's why it's not there.
Yeah, the way the game loads is that it'll keep everything that you've seen on screen. So, like, everything behind you will stay loaded. Things that are in front of you load based on your proximity to them. It's like a little bit camera-based, so they're slightly off-screen. If you manage to interact with the tent before you go back, then you'll have confirmed it for the game. Oh yeah, this tent's not supposed to. But then you slide back, so...
It's about a screen ahead, a little bit less than the screen ahead. The way it works, loads in, is really weird, and if you play around out of bounds, sometimes you'll encounter weird stuff because the game has only loaded part of the next room.
Yeah, this is stuff that we know thanks to called Tahoe and Dagum, who've been working on the task. Who else has had a hand in that, maybe?
Those are the main two. I'm not sure everyone who's been in on that. I think I've seen some of them in the chat, so maybe they can inform.
By the way, I love that strat on the second screen of Blast there, because you have to do a slight hop so that your torch actually hits both of the TNT crates and hits the Shimobi, so that the explosion actually... you slide underneath the Shimobi's explosion. It's such a... like, there's so many tiny things that you have to do to make every one of these screens work.
Something interesting to talk about that I don't think we have, by the way, is there are a lot of buffer strats in this game. So to get that jump, you actually jump into the screen transition, like with a little tiny jump, and then you let go of it as it loads in that screen. And that way, you're guaranteeing that you're going to get the smallest little hop possible. Also, if you hold down the rapid fire button while a screen is loading, you will guarantee that you get, like, you shoot as soon as the room loads, which is what they're doing on some of these mini bosses.
Yeah, that's another cool strat that happens at boss fights. Is that if you hold, this is something you viewers at home, if you want to play around with this is actually pretty cool. I learned this when I was playing, and I was like, that's pretty neat. If you hold a charge shot going into a fight and you hold rapid buster, you'll actually fire the charge shot on the person.
I should mention, by the way, since we mentioned rapid buster, there is a rapid shot button in this game. It is a bindable button, so it is allowed. It's not like a turbo controller or anything external.
Yeah, you literally can't fire as fast, no matter what. There's no way someone could mash to fire as fast as the rapid fire.
Even if you did, I believe it actually locks you to that rate anyways. Like, even the task can fire faster than that.
Other thing to say that I appreciate it, because like I know some people don't like the fact that there's basically a turbo in the game, but to me that's an accessibility feature. So I'm glad Capcom did a good job. This is hard to say, but like Capcom did a good job in terms of like button rebindings and making everything comfortable for you.
Yeah, that is huge. Looking at like Mega Man 3, which they showed off at Calathon as well. That game is so much mashing, and like runners of that game usually take days off to let their hands and arms recover from the beating that they're taking. Mm-hmm. This game is pretty easy on the hands. You can play it a few hours a day and not really have any cramping or anything like that.
Not from mashing, at least. Maybe from like buttons, like weapon swapping, or rush jumps. These jet jumps again. Look at Reabs, like calling him, jumping off, and then dismissing.
There's all sorts of interesting control schemes too, and it's interesting to talk. I personally have rush on the shoulder buttons, so I can control them independently while shooting and things like that. But some people choose to put them on a face button, which is crazy to me, but it works for them.
That's how I do it. Calling rush and doing the jet jumps is one of the hardest things that I have to do. But conversely, and I will say that your control scheme entirely valid. The way I do it is my fire buttons are both on the right shoulder, so that I can hold my buster or hold rapid fire independently of my.
Ooh, Carter having a little trouble with the mini boss. I don't know quite what happened there actually, because it looks good. He may have done something a little too early.
Yo, thank you, Cab.
Yeah, thank you for the challenge, dog. It's much appreciated. By the way, like we really should like offer prizes. Anyone who can get a Chelny Frog and like a huge chat, find a 10K viewer chat, make a complete Chelny Frog. That's worth a bounty. Here's your last chance coming up, by the way. Or no, because Carter has to go through it too, so disregard. This is your second to last chance.
Cab flexing right now.
Yeah. So, coming through, he's going to try and do a coil jet here. He gets, Jesus. That's so good.
Cab making it? Oh, so close. Or Carter, I meant. Cab sneaking in there in my commentary.
I couldn't tell if you were yelling about the Chelny Frog of the game.
No. So Carter was going through the room really quickly because, again, that is a really difficult strat to go for. You have to have optimal movement through the room just so you could potentially get under the brick before it spawns, jump, and then... You're right, Cab. Yeah, maybe you are playing offline. I have clairvoyance. I'm having an out-of-body experience right now.
Has anyone ever seen Carter and Mr. Cab in the same room? Just asking.
You have a point there.
Looks
they might
good.
be one and the same.
There we go for a block. So really, Carter is catching up. Reabs has had a little bit of slop, and Carter, I mean, he's maybe a boss fight behind. So versus that huge, probably 30-second lead he had coming out of Impact, I would guess he's probably cut it in half.
Are you sure?
I'm never sure. That's why I always accidentally back out and try and buy an E-Tank instead. The shop is the hardest part of the game. The inputs are a little bit odd.
Man, Carter has quite the hill to climb right now. By the way, something we just saw on Reabs' screen real quick, where he was going through the electries. Power Impact, or Impact in general, provides you with immunity to damage throughout its animation. So it's something that you'll see runners using to get through lasers, to get through enemies, and provided that you do enough damage to kill the enemy with the impact itself, you'll go straight through them. So on enemies like Crunch-Dons, Pack-Ons, etc., you'll see him weakening Crunch-Dons before he power impacts through them, so that you don't have to bonk. Or for the case of Pack-Ons, you'll see the runners using a Charge Buster to take the hood off their face, essentially, remove their guard, and then power impact through them. Again, nice job. Clean stuff, getting that rush.
Big room. He's 3 for 3 today. That is such a hard room to do. He has not gotten hit on any of them.
Oh my god, so I just was reminded briefly where Reabs slid on top of the ladder. Ladders, by the way, kind of annoying because like you have to not be in the middle of a slide animation. So getting over to the ladder, he slid off the top of it because he was not quite directly over it. And the guys, while I was here at Caliathon, they traded me to a clip of someone, I think was playing Mega Man 3 or 4, and he, like, 4 ladders in a row, he couldn't get down. So he was just like, he grabbed the ladder, starts climbing down a step, and he meant to let go. He's like, get down. The second time in a row, get down. He just keeps getting... It happens so many times. Yo, ladder pain is a real struggle. Reabs, by the way, doing incredible stuff here.
Yeah, climbing down is really slow. So you want to just barely get on the ladder and then let go as soon as you can. Carter again skipping, not getting W tank. He hasn't had good luck with the coil jets today, so he's going to be going to the shop instead. Little mistakes there too. Has to climb. Oh no! A little bit of slop in that room. That is a tough part of the stage. He's also had a rush jet. Most runners use Rush to quickly switch back to Buster, so he's going to have to do another way of switching back to Buster during this fight. One way to do it is actually click in the right control stick, but then you have to be very careful not to move it to the side so you get a different weapon.
Yeah, I use my left hand for that, which is not fun.
You got to make sure you click it straight in. There, he gets it.
It's a little easy to do that on the bounce fight, but again, I would not assume that Reabs or Carter's used to doing that. But the reason why I would say it's a little easy for the bounce fight is because you don't have to have your hand on the left on the D-pad. You can just keep kind of consciously clicking it in and until you get it, carefully.
Carter going to the shop, picking up the W tank he missed, continuing on. A little bit of speed gear to make sure he makes it through that block. And just unloading on the mini boss. Karterfreak having a little bit of trouble bouncing there, actually hitting the wall. Getting hit there as well. Reabs coming up on a kind of scary part of the stage though. It's not too difficult, but you really don't want to mess it up.
So that's the first climb. Ooh, using the rush jet. Nice. Almost everyone I know uses rush coil because that's just like, it's way easier, but Reabs having clean inputs, getting the rush jet for the same height. Just a couple frames.
Carter getting through the big room. That's really good. Falling down there, loses something silly like 3 seconds. Oh, shooting that shield guy too early though.
By the way, if Reabs was to power impact underneath one of those falling mazes, he would just die immediately.
Oh yeah, they crush you. Yeah, it's not fun.
I appreciate you respecting the lore, by the way.
Yeah. Shout out to the demo where you actually had to do those little mazes, and then there's multiple of them that fall down. Carter getting a little bit of a drop here, so we can do some strats. gonna go for the prissy strats. Reabs is gonna try Blockman, make sure he gets a good kill. Nice. Oh, no!
Oh boy, here comes a big boy.
Here comes, yeah, this
The
is
sheer
this is
size
gonna
of this
equalize
lad.
it a little bit. Yeah, this puts Carter back into it. Now, fortunately, he still has his power gear, so he's gonna make.
This thing. Oh my god, this boy was torched.
Oh,
to death.
he explodes the blast too early too. This is kind of really going south.
Are you? Oh my god.
Oh my god! I think Reabs is in the lead now, isn't he?
I mean, Carter.
Jeez, Carter. How many
Yeah,
times
because
have I done that?
they both completed 7 robots now.
Yeah. Carter has taken back the lead on the basis of a failed Blockman kill.
Jesus Christ.
So I had seen that before. Again, if you get hit during the power gear charge, you lose all your charge. So all that, he was almost fully charged, and he just lost it all when Blockman walked into him.
Blockman didn't get hit by the bombs in the
Oh,
corner.
that's what it is. Okay, it was like, why was Blockman walking there in the first place? Okay, that makes sense now. There is a faster way to finish off Blockman if you end up in the 3rd phase. I only know that from speedrunning the demo, because that's
Yeah,
the only
so-
time where it was real.
He did a great job on clearing out Golem, by the way. Like, even
Oh,
when
yeah,
I
that was
have
perfect.
Golem and I torch him out like that, I feel like Reabs sat down and practiced that, because that thing went down in no time. But when you have Golem out, a single power blast will finish the job. You barely should have the ammo. Good God, they're in the same rooms now!
Yeah, I mean, this is a real match. This is... Oh, man.
Yo, and Carter briefly switched over to Impact in case he got a drop out of that, I don't know that enemy's shield. Nice, both of them getting the clean kill that time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, thank God Reabs is far enough to the right. You can actually be
Yep.
stood in the corner and you will... Oh no, and he accidentally tapped right before he finished sliding out underneath that little... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay. Reabs back with the
Guys, both
tiny
of you, please
lead. Oh, my God.
Okay, Carter doesn't have any ammo right now for the last of it. Whereas Reabs got to use the tank, and he's going to get to keep going fast here. No drops.
No drops. Yeah.
And either of them dies here. That's it. Right back to the mini boss.
Oh, yeah. That would be damaging.
No gap jump. It is possible to jump up that ladder.
Ooh, Carter with a little wiggle there. Fortunately, got up there.
Dropped for Reabs on the first one, and unfortunately, he's committed to the second one. Carter as well, committed to the second one, did not get any drop. Carter using bounce, nice, I like it. Don't jump in the acid!
The acid. The acid doesn't do much damage, but it does lose time from the hit stun.
So Reabs most likely going to get a sub 24, which is still a solid race time. You can still get a 34 for the run overall. And I'm going by timing on teleport here. Nice kill. So that was a 23.55, 56. Very good for Reabs. And a low 24 is still very respectable for Carter.
So Reabs is going to be going into Wily 1. He does have the W tanks that Carter doesn't have. So he will have a slight possible advantage in there. But at the same time, it'll be interesting to see kind of how he uses them. Again, the W tanks aren't a free time save. They give him the chance to save time.
Couple quick points of reference here. My PB being a 34.48, I think, or 43. I think it's 43. My 8 robots was a 23.15. Like, I think that's my best one. So they're about 45 seconds off of that. And if you're looking at world record 8 robots, those are in the 22.48 range. So again, they're not that far off of those. Reabs doing some interesting... he has interesting choices here for when he's going to impact, slightly different. Carter fell down. I believe he... Oh, please! Oh,
Okay, he knew to impact again. If you just hold right there, you fall in the pit. So
they really can't take a lot of damage in this stage either.
Already in this stage, they've traded back and forth. It doesn't matter quite as much for Carter because he doesn't do the damage boost Yellow Devil, but Reabs does. So he needs to make sure he has the health to take those damage boosts.
Very clean again, swapping right off of Jet into Impact.
Carter
Ooh,
getting hit doesn't
back.
fall down.
He did not use Rush there.
Yeah.
Rush and Impact are so critical in this stage that using extra of either of them could potentially end you up in even worse situations. Yeah, he barely has enough. He'll be able to do the climb that Reabs just finished. Just barely. So he made the good call there.
All right, we'll see. We'll see with Reabs.
And here he goes. Wow, that's so scary to me.
Yeah, got to be a little bit of nerves after that Blockman miskill.
Nice.
Little bit of time lost, but not too much. He killed him in the center of the screen, which is maybe a second or so.
Yeah, that's a pretty standard looking fight, at least from my opinion. Carter
making
doing
up a little bit of time, but still behind. Going into Wily 2, again, lots of game left. And when they're this close, anything can happen. I know, like, I'm starting to get excited now. I can't imagine how they must feel right now.
I wonder if they even know. I hope they know.
Yeah.
So Reabs using a power torch at the start of that room, and then a power impact. Oh, nobody bonked!
Okay, he fell down. He didn't fall in the spikes. He had to climb a ladder, though, so that's going to slow him down.
He has no impact ammo right now. Hopefully he'll get something, anything at all.
I think he has a W tank in reserve, doesn't he?
Just in case, just in case. Unfortunately, Carter accidentally using power acid. Again, acid being right next to block, it's a very common mistake. Ooh, nice!
The drop.
Paying off for him.
I didn't see. Was that Reabs' last W tank?
Yeah, Reabs just used his tank.
Okay, so I think that's his last one for the run.
The guys are playing on normal, which quickly the differences would be for newcomer, you basically can't die. You have almost infinite ammo. For casual, you do take a little bit more damage, and you can die in pits. Normal is pretty fair and balanced, very faithful to Capcom's design, and then hardcore is really not. Go ahead.
I mean, there's people that speedrun that. Bless your soul. That's you have way more patience than I do.
Mm-hmm. Like, the level design is already kind of not fair in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's Capcom classic level design. Oh, that's a Scramble Thunder. You did not want that. That was due west, so he was definitely going for the power block there.
Going up the climb room here. How much impact does Carter have? I gotta see here. Not a lot. Okay, so he's gonna Tundra this guy instead. He recognized that he was low on impact.
Okay. He's dropping a couple
away.
frames, but he should be fine. Reabs doing his fight. It's funny, because, like, the amount of time that Reabs is saving by doing this Malvern is about the same amount of time that Carter is saving on Reabs from Yellow Devil.
Mm-hmm. There are speedruns and leaderboards. Carter, hopefully everything's going all right. His health looks scary in that frame that I see. Okay, he did it. Thank you for the PowerPoint.
Malvern is an awful fight, and in this presentation,
The Carter Freak TED Talk.
Alright, so
Reed's going into refights, and again, we're going to see he's probably going to be pretty nervous coming up to Blockman again, and we'll see how he handles Impact as well. Impact, I don't think is quite as difficult. Especially he does a fairly safe strat.
I want to see what Carter goes for, because if Carter goes for the Thunder
Right.
fight, he could end up saving that time. Good fight from Reabs on impact. Carter apparently also in impact.
So we'll know pretty quickly, depending on whether we see a big impact or not, how it went.
Man, I can't even tell what kind of opening he got.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks like he got the impact.
He got a
Oh,
kill.
he got it. He got it. He got the kill.
Still a better frame rate than virtual highlight.
So Reeves going into acid here. Pretty simple. He gets that big jump to the left, and I'm not sure what that does.
That's just a positioning thing. He managed to react to it, which is the most important part, because I've had that happen before when you're a little too far to the right. Reeves not using Rush Jet to get to the block fight.
Mm-hmm. I wonder why. He just did a jump. Nerves, maybe.
Alright, Reeves. Nice.
Alright, he gets it on the second try. He had to be sweating that. It looks like it's hard to tell because Carter's timer is behind Reeves, so kind of hard to tell where he is.
It's like it's coming together.
Mm-hmm.
Got him. He definitely had to have got him.
Yep.
Yo, the real mystery in figuring out whether or not he's getting these strats. He's not far behind Reeves, if at all, because
Yeah.
like it's really hard.
Carter's team is behind. Oh, he might have just caught up a little bit. I think he's just behind because of the lag, though.
He's not behind by much. Trent says he is about 8 seconds behind. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Oh, okay, we're back. We're back. Oh, he's so close. He's going into Torch as Reeves is watching the intro to Torch. That's how close it is. Seconds.
There's a kick!
Okay, he got the hit. He had to hold it for a second to get the hit. Carter not having to do that. There we go. Making up a little bit of time.
Reeves with ammo for blast. Carter does not. He's going to go for the double buster fight with Torch.
Again, I don't believe that's significantly slower, but it is harder, most people would say.
No, Reeves missed the double buster shot.
Oh no.
3-second penalty.
Yeah. He's
It's one power and one regular. One more, come on! Come on! Oh my god! 33-20. 33-24. Oh, this could be decided by old man.
Oh my god. This comes down to Wily 4 going into the stage 33-31.
Yo, Grand Finals, if you're not watching this, what are you doing?
4 seconds lead.
Oh, that was close. That was close.
Getting the jump, getting the jump. Didn't burn out, actually. He almost did.
2 power impacts. All right. Go, 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 go. Oh my god, go.
He's using speed gear to make sure he gets the platform cycle. Reed's gonna be able to catch up a little bit because of that.
Oh my god.
There, he's got it, he's got it, he's got it. But he gave back a couple seconds to Reeves there, so it's even closer. It's maybe a 1 second lead.
Yo, power blast.
There's a power blast. Then acid shield. Shoot the thing now. Carter's got it. Reeves has got it.
34-41 on the left. 42 on the right.
Yeah, it's still about a second.
Oh my god, this is old man.
Take a deep breath.
Half health on left. One more hit.
Carter getting a good strat.
What?
Oh my god!
What?
Reabs G.
Give up,
Dot Dund in speed gaming first.
You leave me no choice.
Down to
What?
the second! Jesus Christ.
Spare me! I'm a helpless old man. Mercy, Mega Man.
Enough! You can't fool me that easily.
Drat.
Yo, I did not curse
I'm
that!
waiting for speed gaming to give a ruling on this.
We need an official statement.
Double gear. I'm the greatest. I'm a genius.
My, will you never learn from your mistakes?
They're not gonna tie, Mumu said.
Light. What are you doing here?
Who would tie in grand finals?
You plagiarist.
Open your eyes, Wily.
Thank you for clipping that. Let's check the clip.
Tell me what you see.
By less than half a second, Reabs was faster, according to splits. But Reabs does not use life split.
Power.
Reabs had to reach over.
To use it wisely. He's your vision and mine combined. If our
I don't know. Yeah, it's tough to say.
Someone please tell me they clipped it from Reabs' stream so I could hear how loud he smashed the keyboard with that.
Too late, Albert. Atone for your crimes and join me again.
Silence! My plans have only just begun, you fool! And I won't stop until I see both of you kneeling before me in utter defeat!
Yeah, so Carter definitely killed Wily first by like a tiny fraction of a second.
Riley always strikes again!
But Reabs, Reabs got done first in IRC.
My old friend, perhaps our gears will never mesh together.
The race is a matter of IRC, and because that was his form of finishing his split, it has to have been his dot done.
Ah, Otto! Did you
Carter
succeed?
only has to live split, like it starts and stops for him. But
Dr. Light, follow me.
because Reabs, rightly so, prioritized dot dunning on SRL. That's what we have to go by.
Yeah, so if I am understanding this correct, Reabs is your grand champion. If
What
I
was
am
the-
understanding this correct.
What were their what were their SRL times? What were their dot duns on SRL?
Reabs was 35 in 1 second, and Carter was 35 in 2 seconds. Reabs actually may have killed Wily second, but the time goes off what time they dot done in speedruns. Because keep in mind, the streams, first off, Reabs is not using auto splitter, so his timing may be slightly off, and the streams are manually offset by speed gaming. So
I personally look at this.
yeah.
I think this is Reabs' win.
I think this is Reabs' win. Unless the only thing that could say is that I know some tournaments have a rule where I gotta look at the tournament rulebook. They have a rule where if it's actually too close to call, they rematch.
Let's get them in here if we can.
Yeah, that would actually be good. We might be able to figure this out. This is like when you get a tie in the NFL and everyone waltz out into the field and they just look like, what's happening? Who won? I see everyone saying, and I agree, that Carter on the speed gaming stream killed Wily first. Okay, so the runners have agreed that they would like to do another.
Okay.
So no, I take everything back. We're just that both runners agree to it. We're gonna do round 4.
Are we good to do this right now? Are we going to
I don't.
I think they're gonna have to schedule it.
Oh my god, I can't believe this is happening.
We're getting confirmation that we can continue this.
Yeah, there's not.
to the runners
We
now.
have confirmation that there's nothing else in Speed Gaming 2. We just need to know that the runners don't have anything, to do in the next couple hours.
Just the next 40 minutes.
I can't believe I'm here right now doing this. Like, this is insane.
Everyone in the practice room looked over for a second. Like, I know that I was talking about this before, but there's just so many, like... I specifically mentioned it because of how many complications there are with them tying. The fact that they're not playing on the same console, that things can happen one way or the other to benefit either person. Syncing, like, there's so many different things. And in-game time is not going to be an accurate measure of this either.
Yeah, that is the thing. They manually offsets the timers to match each other. But so that's why you can't solely go off the Speed Gaming stream, because they manually offset the streams to match each other. But there's no guarantee that they hit the timer start at the exact same time. And so it even in that situation, even tiny little things matter, like the time that they received the message in IRC, if it was like slightly delayed. I don't know. The sound is off. I don't know what's going on here.
Because when you dot done on both of them, it's just going to play some music.
I see.
Stream should some nice Mega Man tune.
I will try and get someone to fix that.
See, and two, the thing is that although, like, within as much reason as possible, Reabs is splitting accurately both on start and on stop for the countdown off of SRL. Carter's doing that with live split auto splitting for him. There's so much tiny nuanced room for error. Like, it goes all over the place in terms of where it could come from. For all intents and purposes, they are essentially tied. And it's so easily debatable on who did what better in which way. getting a rematch honestly relieves me a lot.
Yeah, this is a much better ending. I actually even went to the rulebook to check, and it didn't have a rule for, like, what if the runners are separated by like a tenth of a second or something like that. What happens? So technically, it would go off of SRL time. But it's so close that, again, like, even the time, if their like IRC message telling them to go was slightly delayed, that could affect it. Speed Gaming does sync up the streams to each other, but there's no guarantee that it accurately reflects where each runner is in the race, and that also they started at the same exact time. So yeah, we're gonna get a real winner.
It looks like they're ready to go.
For those not familiar with Speedrun Live, Speedrun Live is the racing service that a lot of races use, including this race. It basically, you all go into what is essentially an IRC channel, and you ready up, and once everyone is ready, it'll give you a countdown in the IRC channel. The type is the winner. So when you're done, on your last turn on Wily, you actually type .done, and that's it. Like, you win. And they are about to start round 4 out of 3.
I was not prepared for this.
No. My heart isn't ready.
You know, a couple quick shout outs on my end, by the way. Tenmachi is allowing me the use of his PC and a lot of his equipment just to be able to stream all this. And Muncha Koopas lent me his headset and microphone. So thank you.
Shoutouts to everyone at Calathon, by the way. Great marathon. I saw the Mega Block. It was amazing.
I'm having so much fun here.
I have envy, but I just can't go to California right now. But, I mean, looking forward to more marathons on the horizon.
Okay, starting off at the same time.
Yeah. Reabs looks like he had a little trouble with the menu there. I don't know what happened. Or was it just the PS4 loading?
Just the PS4 loading, as far as I could tell. But again, like any small time save that Reabs is getting or time save that Carter's getting because Reabs is playing on PS4, could easily go sourly for Carter because PC is not running it as optimally as possible.
Actually, someone asked in chat, what happens if you type .done wrong? So long as you type .done, and if there's like gibberish after it, I don't think it matters. But you have to actually spell .done correctly. Ooh, Carter
essentially,
falling down there.
What runners will do, like Reabs in the position that he's in, is he'll have .done ready to go, and then as soon as the race is done, he's just like hovering his finger over the entry key. Again, ammo count matters for this stage. You want to be able to have enough for the conveyor belt room. Yeah, that looks about right, Broadstone. Done.
Carter with a little extra speed gear because he kind of slopped up that room. So he's really low. No, he has just enough rush coil. He can't afford any more.
Again, runs are extremely unstable until runners get past Tundra. Like, a lot of terrible things can happen to people between impact and...
Yeah, I'm actually really surprised that it's been as clean as it's been.
152 and 153 for the exit after that room.
There we go. Yeah,
Nice.
actually, Reabs almost missed that cone guy, and that's a really important part. That placement of that Mega Buster does really matter.
I wonder if Carter's going to go for it.
We'll see.
Considering he got it in the previous race,
No,
and if he hadn't,
too
he would
nervous.
have lost.
Yeah, that's crazy to think about. If Carter didn't just any little thing wrong, and we would be over right now and talking about what a great tournament this was.
Impact transformed for him.
I don't think I will ever forget that, sitting there actually going, who won? What do I do or say? Don't you wish another tie?
He just missed the blue shot.
Oh no. Okay, he can recover though.
I hope he noticed that he missed the blue shot.
He did. He did.
He still needs to get another double shot on the left.
Yeah, he's gonna get it. It's just a little bit slow. That's way better. That loses, like 3 or 4 seconds, but that's a lot better than losing 16.
So, Tenmachi, who's sitting next to me, by the way, just took a picture of the screen to see what the difference is on the sync of their timing. They are only off by 0.01, if that even is going to matter at this point.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'm looking at this screenshot, it's 129.95, whereas on Reabs' screen, it's 129.96. So there you go. Like, they are incredibly well synced. Shout out to Speed Gaming for doing that. Ooh, Carter not getting the rapid shots just to finish off that Robert there.
There is a little bit of time after you shoot a Buster where you cannot shoot rapid shots, and I believe that they ate his inputs there.
No drops from either of them yet.
So this is kind of a stage. You're praying for drops. You're using impact up front and just kind of hoping. If you don't get them, it does kind of get a little bit sticky.
There was a time for a while when we weren't going for as many uses of impact at the beginning of the stage. Like all of it was basically loaded at the end of the level. And at the beginning, we were just kind of sitting in it. We were like sitting on our hands, essentially. But runners, again, they really want these things to happen. So they would end up going for kills and being like, hey, those snowflakes drop some stuff. I want that. And we'll just start gambling earlier.
So Reabs went for the better mini boss kill, but ended up messing up. Had to use 2 impacts to kill the boss and gave back some time. He only has 1 tick of impact left, so we'll see where he uses it.
He'll probably be using it to power impact through the crunch time coming up. A couple shots, power impact. Nice. Carter died.
Carter, no! You can do that a little bit too low and be okay, but you can't do it too high.
Yeah, he bonked off one of the first platforms. That is about a 20 to 25 second time loss. He has no ammo whatsoever.
So he's gonna have to do this the more slow way this time. Just doing the strat Reabs showed off, coiling up, shooting the guys, getting hit, and then mashing down this guy, which is slow as well.
Yeah, it's really not. That's a strat that Carter probably hasn't particularly practiced, whereas that's something that Reabs goes for regularly. So Reabs, I would expect to be able to get through. Carter kind of, again, a lot of runners just, we understand the game's mechanics by now. We will kind of try to YOLO some stuff here and there, so long as it's not a particularly dangerous situation. He did manage to make it past the terrifying room in Tundra.
Yeah, that's a room you really don't want to die in. The spike room is bad enough, but you really don't want to die in that last room.
As another point of reference, talking to Fasta, his best for finishing Tundra was like a 609. Typically, I'll end up with like 620s to 25.
Keeps jumping over that guy, and that's so impressive, especially because they move kind of erratically. Going for some very difficult impacts there.
Carter,
I think he
close
got
to
a drop.
about half a minute behind.
I think he got a drop in the pack on there.
Oh, he definitely got a drop off the Robin.
Oh yeah,
Now
he's got a lot of drops.
Super
Good
full
torch.
ammo. He might not. Okay,
I had never actually seen that.
I'm not sure what he's going to do, but there is talk of essentially like if you get lucky enough, you don't use your W tank on this stage because it would cost you more time.
Yeah, there are some extreme situations where it's like you just save the W tank for later, or maybe he might. I was thinking he might even just like skip grabbing it and save that time as well.
True. Very true. That would save you a little bit even more time. That is something that Peony did.
It's probably pretty similar to buying it in the shop anyways, so.
I think he had a tick of energy left.
Yeah, he did. He could have done, there's an even better strat where you just impact over basically this whole room he could have gone for.
That's nice, bet.
Yeah. I swear I got it.
It's not clever, it's just lazy, so I'm not going to feel smart about it.
I mean, it's fine. That's when I was routing Wily 1, that's kind of what I came up with, is just impact a lot.
Whoa, did
So,
Carter...
yeah.
Carter had to have used his tank before, because like I was like, he should be almost empty. at refill.
Yeah, that must be what happened, because he has full Tundra.
He has enough for his one right here, power underneath. Again, using Rush Coil to remove his impact so you can start charging a Buster. And it is possible to do that with R3, but like doing so without accidentally selecting a weapon again.
Alright, moving on the Blast. Carter going into Torch. So, I mean, Reabs' lead, again, is kind of the same situation as before. It's not insurmountable, it's just pretty ugly. And Carter's gonna have to play well and hope that he kind of gets the door left open for him. And that's all you can do in this game, is just hope that your opponent, doesn't play perfect.
That's interesting. I'm not sure if Reabs is doing that because it would probably be a little too difficult to do that, but he's using coil. He's impacting over that latter half of the room there. I would think that he would try and drop down to impact through the fire server in case he gets a drop.
Yeah, I've noticed that. That's actually, I've been doing strat where you still impact through that room. I think you use 4 impacts, but you stop and use the fire and kind of chase it as you...
So Reabs entered Twin Thrills, the mini boss, at 10:03, and we can use that as a gauge for when Carter gets to the mini boss. Oh, Carter just got a drop off of that fire. Let's go fast. Yeah, this is looking like maybe closer to 50-second difference. Ooh.
Oh, yeah. He knew not to jump up because those exploding barrels will just hit you. So what'd you say the time was?
10:03 to a 10:46.
Yeah, so
Almost
43 seconds.
Almost 45, but it's a 43-second difference. Ooh, Reabs not using Rush for some reason?
He had some slop there. I think he had some missed inputs, so he kind of just took it.
What are you doing, Reabs? He didn't stop in the middle of the...
Carter! Oh, he didn't have enough length on that impact and he got hit by the fire server.
Regardless of Reabs having a sloppy fight, yeah, Carter just died. And now he doesn't have a bunch of his ammo.
Yep. So he's going to have to play it a little bit conservative. We may even see him use the W tank and just accept that he's going to go to the shop. But no, he's just going through. Yep. Surprised
he's really concerned about his Tundra. I don't even know what his rush looks like right now.
Yeah, he didn't do that big jump, so
oh boy,
his length was a little bit short, and he ran into the fire server after the impact wore off. So that extends Reabs' lead again. Carter is kind of in the range where he's hoping for a mistake from Reabs.
Okay, Carter has enough ammo to do the fight. Yo, I love it when people can slide under that schmoby, by the way.
So I see people saying in chat, this is probably it. Well, I mean, hopefully this is it. First off, hopefully this is the last match. But it's not over because, I mean, we've seen pretty consistent play from Reabs, but he has made some mistakes. And, I mean, there are still some pretty nasty situations to go. Carter's not in a spot where he totally controls his own destiny now. He is dependent on Reabs making some sort of mistake. But it's not unthinkable.
Yeah, it's definitely not curtains for Carter yet. It's the ball's in Reabs' court right now. Yo, hurt with the Reabs love.
I do like that little strat by Reabs, like jetting up and then impacting over, rather than jetting up and then going back down and using doing a jet jump, or jumping up, impacting, going back down, and then doing a jet jump off the bouncy balls. That seems faster.
It's one of those, like, arguably either way, because in my opinion, having to ride out rush like that takes its own time.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Nice!
Coil jet.
First try coil jet. Ooh, and he cleanly gets around that bounce ball, too, so he doesn't have to spend extra time bouncing around.
Mm-hmm. That was really nice. Carter having a good time through block, though. I saw him get through that conveyor belt really clean. He's going up to the climb here. Reabs coming. Oh, no, he's falling down, though. Yeah, that's these screens are very painful when you fall down on them.
Yeah, Carter just using the tank already because there's no way he could possibly get a drop at that point, so I don't blame him in doing.
Yeah, actually, I know a lot of people wait till like the last possible second to use the tank, but if you know you're not going to get any more drops from that point on, it may make sense just to use it when you feel comfortable using it.
Guilty as charged. I've died by having mistakes at that point. Yo, Carter actually getting hit by Mawaru C there. That means he's not realistically going to be able to go for this. He's going to have to maybe even wait. Yeah, he won't even be able to get underneath it. Yo, Reabs chopping with all of his might.
Yeah. Did he get a full 6 or was that only 5?
I didn't get to see.
We'll see when he pauses, I guess. Because I know he said he always buys as many as he can afford. He does gamble a little bit. He only picks up, I think, 300 bolts guaranteed, which is only enough for 3 tanks.
You know,
So he's gambling on getting drops.
I really have to say, at this point, they got to be tired.
Yeah, this is their 4th run. And this is, you know, even though they're fairly fast, this is still 2 hours of racing. And it's stressful, too. Like, there's an emotional toll.
High octane, like, this is not an easy speed game. Not at the level they're playing it at.
No. Carter getting a great block fight, by the way. So no power golem.
I love that on the bottom right there. That's let me talk about that real quick. When you fire rapid shots, you're clearing out the first ones. You have to turn on power gear so that you can fire another couple of shots. That's the only way that those shots will actually hit the 2 electri on the right side, while still switching to impact, power impacting so that you can get underneath that laser shot, and that makes it so that you can get just barely in time to damage list that climb.
He got full impact. He got that roulette drop.
He's just using it. He's like,
I mean, at this point, what else are you gonna do with it? He probably doesn't even know where to use it all.
Cash money, yo. When you have it, spend it.
You can do a little impact here, though, and actually impact on that corridor a little bit faster. But I don't know if that helps anything.
Shoutouts to another successful Prissy strat.
Mm-hmm.
Again, they have route divergence right now, so if you've not been watching all of these, bless you, when we were explaining that before, they won't be in the same stage until they get to Acid. Also, Carter using a nice little bit of Rush Jet right there so he can avoid bouncing around again.
Reads with a good, clean fuse quick kill, and then you could see if they were tied, Carter would be killing Bounce Man right about now. Like, maybe a little bit off, but you can see how far behind he is.
Carter getting a lot of drops.
Unfortunately, it's kind of limited by Rush Jet, how much he can use, because he's going to need a lot of Rush Jet in the next coming screens. He will be able to pull off maybe a couple extra impacts.
Ooh, I like the double use
there.
of regular right there. That's actually really smart. And he can still use another impact. Oh, okay, that's fine. I mean, how much more benefit are you going to get out of it at this point?
At some point, he needs the Rush Jet, so, you know, he doesn't want to walk up that.
I love that mini boss kill, by the way.
No. Chelny Frog getting away. Surprised he didn't do power. You can see him angrily mashing the right stick. You can tell he's not having a good time.
It's okay to be frustrated, because, like, that is one of those kills that slips away from me, too.
He just has not had luck. Yeah, he had something used an impact there. We'll see how he reacts to that.
No, he's fine. He had all those drops earlier.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that's true. He used the W tank late, so he's fine.
That's cutting it close.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, that's cutting it close.
Oh, that impact was pretty close, too.
He's trying to save those frames.
Yep. He knows he's behind.
Oh, you're kidding me!
Oh.
Look, it doesn't take much to be flush up against the left wall, but I would have sworn he was there. That's the game insulting.
Reed's interesting, using a different strat to go through that screen that time. He must have had different drop luck. I wasn't following exactly how many he's got.
I think that's what he consistently goes for, because I've noticed it now. It looked exactly how he did before, and I don't think he got drops in the previous one. I think he just impacts differently in the stage.
Gotcha. That's actually similar to the ones I'm using, but that's with no drops.
I would say, if I had to take a guess at Carter's state of mind right now, I don't think he's truly like tilted right now. There are small things that would be like, come on, but you wouldn't be like really frustrated. Like I would imagine Reabs would be a little more upset right now after.
Yeah, Reabs, Carter's played from behind before, as you saw in the last match Reabs, I don't know how many times he's really been far behind. I think in the last race of the last match, he was pretty far.
Hopefully
Looks
making up
good.
for what he did last time.
Yeah.
$20.42 or 43 it looked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Carter's had a couple deaths that have set him back so far. Or it might have just been the one death, but some mistakes as well. Yeah, Reabs already in acid. Carter still has to finish up Fuse. Reabs trying to get some ammo drops there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can kill in acid that don't take too much time, or actually that you want to kill to get them out of the way, and that means a lot of opportunities for drops. A lot of interesting improvements that come out of this game. Out of just in the start, you would just impact over a lot of stuff, and a lot of improvements have been made impacting through enemies.
Okay, Carter coming up on Fuse. Reabs still no drops.
Mm-hmm.
Both
Very
hits.
nice to fire there.
Beautiful.
There we go. Good kill.
Yeah, this difference is pretty big right now for Carter. Accidentally using Scramble Thunder.
Recovering well though.
What?
What? I've never seen that. Is that frame perfect?
That has to be.
Remind me to go play around with that and see what you can do.
Oh, we do have Fukihara on Reabs' screen. Okay, so we are getting JP Mega Man. I thought I heard that because I heard Blockman's cry.
Mm-hmm.
Majikayo.
People asking who's ahead. Reabs by about half a stage. This is our last stage of the 8 Robot Masters, so you can see that Carter is just starting it. Reabs is ahead. Carter had some 2 deaths early that are putting him behind.
That was a little scary just now. Reabs holding on to the rapid fire button as he was going through the screen he could have accidentally fired. Oh, you saw that!
Pixels.
Good God!
The spikes in this game are more forgiving than if you played like Mega Man 2, where they're square-shaped hitboxes. The hitboxes, the spikes are actually well within the spike itself. And actually, like unlike other Mega Man games, if you damage boost, you can actually walk through the spikes instead of on top of them. Kind of different.
There's no lava in this game. Just thinking about what else you can't instant
There's
death
no
key.
lava. The things that go through instant death are the torch wall and the Wily digging machines. Those things don't care if you have iframes or not.
Yeah.
They're from Mega Man 1. They don't care.
Okay, Reabs with a solid, a nice firm sub 24 for his robots. Carter behind. Still, any point Reabs decides to take a nosedive in Tower 1 could spell a little bit more doom for him than he probably wants to see.
There we go. Getting through that first... I mean, Reabs' first screen is honestly mostly just impact, so getting through it clean.
That's part of what changes up the way Reabs impacts through this screen. because he doesn't have the same amount of ammo after all
Yeah.
of that.
Oh no, that's his strat. Okay, at first I thought it was a mistake.
Yeah. It does look different. It does throw off everyone else who's watching.
And then from this point, it should look pretty similar to a normal Wily 1 with no W tanks. Unless he's got more tricks up his sleeve.
They give you so much ammo in this stage. It's kind of ridiculous. There is one slight, you say tricks up his sleeves. He actually does use one extra power impact
Yep,
right there
that's
because
right.
he doesn't go all the way across. And 2 says about a minute and a half difference. You got a little
Get
bit.
a little bit of impact, you can use it in the boss corridor. I don't think there's any other place where it's really useful.
It's not. So it's literally just, yeah, right here. So Reabs surviving Tower 1.
Mm-hmm. Got a Yellow Devil fight coming up, which did get a little trolled earlier.
Oh, you're right. I spoke too soon. He hasn't killed this guy yet.
Almost got hit there.
He did there.
He has plenty of health, fortunately, though. Okay,
Ooh, that is
pretty
interesting.
kill. Yep.
Launching that that power chain blast, it just barely zooms over the army of Yellow Devils, so that
Yeah.
he can actually. Because if you were trying to do a direct blast, like walking through them, it will detonate as soon as it collides with anything.
Yeah, it's interesting. You can actually manually detonate your blast if you didn't know by pushing down and shoot. It's in the tutorial. Hope you paid attention to the tutorial for blast. Carter there with a very nice scary screen on Wily 1, by the way. Just grabbed the ladder at the very top.
Looking at the way Carter did that, now I can see why Reabs does more power impacts there, because you're saving time by not having to jump so that you can cover those gaps with regular impacts. You're also potentially getting a drop off of that last walk.
Yep. Yeah, whenever I watch these guys run, I always see the little things. I'm like, I'm gonna do that.
Ooh, and Reabs is using that. Okay, so I told him a while ago, hey, make sure that you use Power Tundra right in front of that tank oven so that it clears out some of the bricks. He wasn't doing that at first.
Yep. Yeah, the Power Tundra attack actually does go a decent way off screen, and if anything's loaded in front of you, it will kill it. Carter going into Yellow Devil. Get into the scary part now.
Good.
Looks good. Nice
Bottom
clean
is
spread. There you go.
Beautiful.
Good, good. Making up
Ooh.
a second maybe, but he's gonna need a lot more than that.
And without killing that shield enemy, Reabs actually jumped around it.
That's really tough to do. There actually is a sailing off screen in that room. A couple of the rooms are framed weird by the camera, so they actually have sailings right off screen that you can't see.
Little drop there.
Didn't do the rush coil boost.
I'm not sure if he knows that it's like worth going for.
So I think he's got. Oh, he's got a. Was that worth it?
I don't think so. I think he's just comfortable with it because
Yeah, true.
it costs 3 seconds to do, and you're literally only getting the, which is
Yeah.
a second. I think only. It might be just like a second to 2 seconds of time.
I think you actually had a comment like that in my last race where I used a W tank in this point where it wasn't faster. And it was basically because I didn't know what to do with the amount of impact I had. So I just
Okay.
W tanked anyways.
That's also fair.
Going into Wily 3, Reabs is putting together a pretty solid run. He is going to need a little bit of help from Reabs again. Carter cannot overcome this deficit just by playing well. He's going to have to hope that Reabs leaves the door open for him and then play really well himself to make sure he walks through the door before Reabs closes it shut on him.
Carter did get a drop, so he is sitting on full ammo. Nice. Oh, but he
Ooh,
didn't get the pressed on.
Yeah, I think the bottom block didn't touch him.
Good. Okay.
Yep, so that's the first really scary one down. That was the first. Jumping between the capsules again, it's interesting.
I'm gonna
yeah.
yell at him.
Carter getting a good setup from Malvern. Good kill. Reads we're looking at, he's not going to lose too much time on most of these Robot Masters. For example, even if he messes up Acid, the most he might lose is something like 5 seconds. We're really looking to see, he's already gotten through Impact. We're looking at Torch and Block, and maybe Blast. Reabs seems to have had a little bit of trouble with Blast today.
A reminder about these boss kills is that we are already killing most, if not all of them, from start of the fight to the end of the fight, based on their iframes. Like, from iframe to iframe, they are taking damage at the earliest possible moment. Improving on these or messing them up, conversely, is really, like, improving on them, pretty hard to do at this point. Yeah. Messing them up, very easy.
Though I'm sure there's still more time saves out there. Oh, Carter! He shot the Power Buster too early and damaged him before he decided his next action, so he gets the Power Gear now. That is really unfortunate, especially when that's going to put him even more behind when Reabs is already ahead. He's burned out of his gear. Going to use Acid. That is Impact's weakness. So there you go. Takes him down, but loss of probably something like 20 seconds. Because he lost 16 to the Power Gear, plus his recovery was not exactly clean. Yeah, so this is getting further out of reach. Reabs is going into his 7th Robot Master, and Carter is only getting into his 2nd, so he's, what is that, 5 bosses behind. He's going to need something to go wrong.
Typically speaking,
that,
getting lots of
that'll
kicks.
Get it, though. He got 2 blues in. That'll do it. If you miss, so you need to do at least 5 damage, which is the amount that the red shot does. But if you only hit him with the blue, you can just hit him with the 2nd blue. That'll do 6. That's enough.
Typically speaking, when it comes down to races, Reabs, if you go look at SRL, Reabs has quite a lot of wins for this race, for the races of this game. He is definitely, I would say, like Mr. Consistency when it comes to this. Even beating people with topper times. So, like, QTT, Fasta, although they have blown our times out of the water, essentially, we've still come out on top of them because we've had more consistent races. We just have like a better consistency throughout the end game.
So real quick, for everyone who's stuck with us, thank you. This has been an exhilarating tournament, as you saw by the last few matches. I want to plug one last time, MegaManLeaderboards.net. It's a great resource where you can go and view all the speedruns and PBs. There's also a Discord if you want to come and join us in speedrunning. And Mumu, my co-hosting partner, has a great video series under the YouTube Mumu Strats if you want to get speedrunning this game.
Yeah, thank you, Sage. Also, thank you for, again, being my co-commentator here, because
it is a pleasure.
I easily would have run out of strength for this a while ago.
The 4-game marathon that you had no clue you signed up for. With the slide, reads with the slide there?
It does save a little bit of time sliding into that cutscene. Got power, oil.
So, I mean, so long as Reabs essentially doesn't die to Wily, he's got it. And he's only got the capsule left, and he got the fight, so he's got full health. He's looking pretty good.
405 on the fade to white. Yo, but absolutely shout outs to both of these guys. Like,
yeah, absolutely follow both runners. They are great dudes and amazing people. GG Reabs.
That's a PB for him, isn't it? Wait, no.
Numbers are red. Close. That's within, I think, a second or two of his PB. His PB is a 34:22. That is within a second of his PB.
Oh my god, what a guy.
The last thing I want to say here while we're waiting for Carter to finish up, and then we'll see if we can get Reabs in here for a convo, is get yourself speedrunning. Every time I think about speedrunning and what I've done, my only two regrets are not starting it sooner and not sticking with it instead of taking breaks to do other stuff. If you ever have thought like, hey, I might want to do this, start. It doesn't matter how slow you are at first. No one cares if your time is not the best time. Everyone started somewhere.
Please, pick up the game, have fun. Pick up any game, speedrun anything, please.
Oh, the Japanese voice acting is so good.
Yo, there's Reabs. Reabs!
Oh. Contra 3. Contra 3 is a good game, I will tell you that.
And it is for charity. Oh, Carter actually showing off the Buster only kill again.
Yeah.
Really wanting to go down, like, mad props to
Yeah.
Carter, by the way. He is a really good player, and he's one of the few people who can do this reliably.
Does Reabs have a SoundCloud he wants to plug while he's here? This part is really tough. You can see the conveyor belts are pulling him towards Wily, and he's got to dodge the missiles, and the missiles eat your shots. Like, this is such a tough fight casually. I know they make it look so easy, but it's very easy to forget how difficult this is. I honestly would say the capsule is probably the hardest part.
Weapons really do make this fight go a lot faster. You go from having like a 40-second fight between the two phases to having like, what, a 2.5 minute? Like, it almost becomes as long as a stage.
If I remember right, there are like challenges where it's like beat this boss as fast as possible, you have all the weapons. I believe a gold medal is what, 2.5 minutes on Wily? So that's how long the developers were like, yeah, if you can beat them in 2.5 minutes, you're like pretty good.
I love developer times versus like what eventually becomes found.
Yeah.
Like, it's something like I think it's like 4 or 5 minutes for a gold time for bounce.
Yeah, something like that. You can actually, it's very difficult not to bronze some stages. I believe the bronze for impact is like 9 minutes and 30 seconds. You only have 10 minutes to finish the stage. Another neat resource, actually, if you buy this game, which it is, I think full price was only $30. Oh, here we go.
Hey guys.
Yo, please talk to us, guys. Congratulations, by the way, on finishing all these runs.
Reabs, do you ever die?
The immortal.
Not today.
Like, holy crap, man! Like, I was sitting here, like, you pumped out like 335 or 3 sub 35s or something like that today. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
I had a lot of good runs today.
Full price was only $30. Oh, yeah, that's intense. I think we were all just about to scream after the third match here.
Sorry,
I
I had someone
mean-
talking to me. I couldn't hear anything there for a second.
Sorry, I think we were all about to scream after the third match there. Like, we were just losing our mind. And chat was too. There was a good 30 seconds where both me and Mumo were just like, I don't know what happened or who won or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I figured you guys would be
Right?
satisfied if we just stopped there. So, I mean, it's better that we did the last raid.
It makes sense. I know a lot of tournaments have rules where if it's like within a certain very small amount of time, it's considered a tie, just because of the different start times. Like, I actually pulled out the tournament rule book and it didn't say, and I didn't know what to say at that point.
There's a rule book?
I mean, there's like 4 sentences that describe the rules, and the only thing it said is it goes off SRL timing.
By all means, that could have easily been decided by RNG. Like,
Yeah.
literally drops all over the place. Old man himself, like, all of it. You guys are both nuts, by the way. So
Yeah,
many
this
good
was-
strats.
This was such an impressive display, and really pointing out that you guys didn't, throughout the entire tournament, you didn't have very many bad runs. Like, almost all of them were 34s or 35s.
Yeah, I felt good about my runs overall throughout the tournament. I'm a little disappointed I didn't play better in the last race. The last race was kind of unfortunate, but overall I'm pretty happy, and I think this was a really good grand finals.
Yeah, it was great. It was extremely entertaining, and I see all the chat, just the Pog champs and the not like this faces.
Reabs, hands down, I gotta say, your race consistency has been proven, like, to an incredible degree.
Seriously.
Yeah, actually, I think in the tournament, the only, like, quote, bad time was, that was like a 36 or a 37 where I died on Final Wily. That was my only bad race the entire tournament.
Believe me, I know. I went up against Reabs. It wasn't pretty.
I've tried to beat him in so many races.
I swear Reabs is like my bad luck charm. Because like every time I race with him, I die.
Yo, you say bad luck charm though, but like there was a torch, a fuse, where you just kept getting drops.
I know, right? Oh my god, that one torch, I didn't know what to do. I had so many drops, I'm just like, I guess I'll try and just like impact across the entire screen.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe how many drops I got.
Yeah, you were. We were actually talking about that, where sometimes there's too many drops, where you actually just start impacting and get yourself in trouble because you don't know if it works or not.
Rolled a natural 20.
Yeah.
Nat 20 and not dying?
Yep, that's why I didn't die today.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry for the people that were cheering me on that I didn't get the win, but Reabs played really good. Like, he put out a 34-25 in that last race. That's pretty hard to beat.
You put up a great show. So, like, everyone should be very proud of the last couple days. The 7, including the bonus extra, the Akuma fight at the end that we weren't expecting.
Yo, people who were cheering Carter on do not feel sorry because you're cheering on a good man.
I mean, everybody should be extremely sad that, like, this is a pretty hype grand finals. There was a tie in the last race. Like, it doesn't get more hype than that.
It really doesn't. That was so good.
When you guys were entering that last hallway, I was not able to control myself.
I do want to point out, Mumu is actually at Calathon right now, commenting from California, and I believe he, like everyone in the room, probably knew what was going on.
Oh, everyone!
Is
Mumu
Fasta and
scream
Chelmy there too, or
plus,
no?
yeah.
Are Fasta, is Fasta and Chelmy there too?
They left like 10 hours ago. They left a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I did see them. I got to hang out with them, so I was really happy. Like, I'm enjoying myself out here, and I'm really happy that it was even possible for me to do commentary from it.
Yo, thanks for doing commentary when you're literally thousands of miles away from home.
I know, right?
Honestly, thank you so much, because I was the 4-game marathon. I would have been struggling, especially at the end there of Game 3, to say anything. So, each of you, I guess we'll start with Carter, and then we'll go to Reabs. Carter, any thoughts? Anything you wanted to say?
Best thing I can really say is to anyone interested in running Mega Man 11, definitely check out Mumu Akai's YouTube tutorials. This is a great game to speedrun. There's so much things you can learn in this game, and there's such a huge skill ceiling to it that it's a great game to pick up. Highly recommend it. And yeah, that's about it. How about you, Reabs?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna say the same thing, basically. Like, there are a lot of people who already run this, but man, I wish there was more. Just because, like, I don't know, this game is like super fun for a speed run. It is like, don't get me wrong, it's pretty hard, but I don't know. I think like if you're into platformers and speedrunning platformers, like this is a game to get like for speedrunning.
Yeah, this is definitely the hot Mega Man game right now, and it's had a lot of action for a game that's just so young. Mumu, thank you for sharing this with me. I don't know if you have any closing thoughts.
Oh man, I'm just like I'm exhausted here.
Yeah,
You're exhausted.
I can't even imagine what you guys are feeling like, both being in the driver's seat for like almost 3 hours now.
that
When
must
we
have
got
been
into that
so
fourth race, I'm just like,
draining.
here we go again.
Yeah, that must have been so draining to just get like go 1-1 and then a tie, and it's like, oh crap, we have to do it again.
I'm just gonna spend like my moment here shouting out both of you guys, because like there have been so many times when, first of all, you guys were all really welcoming when I got to the community. I was really happy to learn this game and then being able to run races with you guys. But the strength and endurance you need to be able to have the focus for this amount of time, executing all these strats, consistently nailing quite a lot of them, getting through all these rooms, like it just dawned on me by the time the third run finished. And I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do another race, right? Like, and I was like, wait a second. Good God, if we were racing like this is where I'd be like, yeah, I'm done for the night, guys. See you tomorrow.
I did like 3 runs before we even started, too.
God, 7 runs today.
That's
Mr.
where Reeves got
100
the
no
advantage right
resets,
there.
by the way.
Reeves got the advantage by getting in the 3 runs practice beforehand. That's clearly what happened.
That's what gave me the edge.
Yeah.
Got the deaths out of the way. All right, I really don't have too much to add except to kind of chime in with everyone else and say, if you aren't speedrunning already, get yourself speedrunning. If you have any interest in doing it, no one cares if you don't have the best time or you don't play the most competitive game. Pick up a game, start speed.
Yeah, that'll do it for me as well. Thank you so much, Speed Gaming, and everyone who's made this possible.
Yeah, thanks to Speed Gaming for hosting. This has been a great time.
Yeah, agreed. Thanks for everyone who raced and joined the tournament, and all the commentators too. Like, we really need more people to commentate, but like everyone who does commentate does a really good job. Like, even if they're new at it, like we just really appreciate it.
All right, I think we're gonna turn it over back to Speed Gaming then. Let me see what we have on the dock. If there's anything left on the docket. The only thing I believe they have going on right now is a Zelda 1 randomizer weekly race, which is on Speed Gaming 1. So I imagine that's where you will be sent. And then I don't believe they have anything early AM. So yeah, I imagine that's where you guys will be sent. But thanks everyone so much who has been part of this. Has been so much fun.
Thanks for watching.
All right, have a good night, guys. Thank you, everyone in chat. Thank you, Carter and Reabs, and